Yeah, they hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. I had to elevate. Way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself. Yeah, why would I give it up? Why do they want to come take my...
Yeah, man. Pop-up. It's a pop-up live. Man, got to put the eye drops in, get the contacts together. Salute to everybody in the building, man. Salute, 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 salute to you and yours. Salute to you and yours. What a great night of boxing, man. Let's get past all the silliness of it all, man. The silliness of it all, man. All the antics and everything like that. Listen, man, we're going to talk about this. And we're going to talk about it in a real way, because now that we've gotten through this first step, this chapter, this event, there's so much to build on from here. So we're going to talk about a couple important fights on the card. Great fights on the card tonight. Shout out to Top Rank, Keyshawn Davis. Congratulations to the new WBO lightweight champion of the world. Congratulations to Xander Zayas. He's definitely made a statement. I know some people still feel like there's questions there to be answered, but listen, man, he had a test put in front of him. He passed the test with flying colors. We'll talk about that as well. Vito Milnecki, listen, a draw fight that I thought he won, but still, what a great fight for him. He's going to evolve, become a better fighter. The development was there. We'll talk about that fight as well. We definitely have to address Jared Anderson tonight. I don't know what you guys expected from Jared Anderson tonight. I had my expectations. We'll talk about my expectations, and we'll deal with you guys soon, your expectations as well. But what's next for Jared Anderson? Listen, this guy, started off a legitimate, representation. I was going to say mascot, but that probably have been like saying the wrong thing, right? But he started off as somebody with a very promising career in the heavyweight division, young, up and coming, knocking everybody out, athleticism, a lot of power, a lot of enthusiasm and as far as like a character in front of the camera, really future heavyweight star in an American boxing space where we didn't have a lot of heavyweight. We didn't have any heavyweight champions, and we didn't have any prospects for real until Jared Anderson came around. And look, man, he's here today after coming off of a loss of a Martin Bacoli. This was supposed to be his come out night to show his return, right? We'll talk about what happened in that fight as well. Abdullah Mason, of course, man, what else can you say about that kid? I mean, a lot of people consider him prospect of the year last year, right? Even though I think Ring Magazine gave it to Moses Ituma, but regardless, most people I think that I know, including myself, thought that Abdullah Mason rightfully earned that spot as prospect of the year. Comes into this year off the back end of off a victory, right, with Johan Vasquez, but he got put on his pockets twice, right? So we were looking for some adjustments from Abdullah Mason. And did we see the adjustments? I think we did to a degree, but at the same time, he still has that prospect energy, still a little wet behind the ears. When you're talking about lightweight elite talent, it's kind of hard. Well, we'll talk about it tonight. Pause. We'll talk about it tonight to see where he is now, right? What's his next step? What makes the most sense for him, at least in my opinion, and we'll get your opinion as well. And who else are we going to talk about? And, even the young Keyshawn Davis, we'll go ahead and give him his respect tonight as well. Keyshawn Davis definitely showed up tonight. Didn't play with his food, improved a lot from that first fight we saw from him, right? Didn't play with his food this fight. Kind of looks like he's settling into the fact that he's the bigger guy in the ring. He's bringing the pedigree and, some pressure there. Not pressure necessarily, but I would say understanding that following in his brother's footsteps, Keyshawn Davis on this card, he has an opportunity to go ahead and take advantage of that momentum and move quickly, right? Be fast-tracked if he chooses to be. So whoever's not supposed to be in the ring with him won't be in the ring with him, and he did what I thought he should do. And then we got to figure out what these guys are going to do next, because each one of these wins tonight especially the Keyshawn Davis win, especially the Xander Zayas win, there's big implications with those wins, right? We got to see Xander Zayas get spoken of in a different way at 154 now. Obviously, Keyshawn Davis is now a champion at 135. No secret who the champions at 135 are. The arguable face of boxing in Gervonta Tank Davis, obviously. We've got an IBF belt that we're not sure where it's landing, if Vasily Lomachenko is going to be in recess or if he's going to actually step up. Unification fights are there to be made. And obviously, we have some top contenders as well at 135 where fights can be made. We'll talk about that for sure, figure out what the next step is going to be. Let's take a look at who's in the building right now. I know we got like 21 people in the building. I know everybody's doing a live, but I think hands down, when it's all said and done, you'll agree, Claymore got the juice. Claymore got the juice. Let me go ahead and say what's up to everybody in the building, man. Ready, man, with so much on his mind about what's going on in this boxing space, what happened tonight. Shout out to Pop Shot Talk in the building. Yo, shout out to Blue Hustle, man. Oh my God, Hood Rich, there he is. He said, I just won a bag. Without a doubt, man. Did you pick the round, Hood Rich? Yeah. He said Keyshawn ain't ready, though. Well, Hood Rich, he might have to get ready, huh? He might have to be ready, whatever he got, right? He might have to be ready, maybe. We never know. Shout out to Hood Rich in the building. Let's see here. Blue Hustle, man. Ross Cloud, of course. Salute, man. Let's see here. Who else we got here? Pop Shot Warrior Class 3 in the building. And DGO 82 to go. 82. Keyshawn about to terrorize and flame that flame boy from we're gonna talk about it. Look, I don't got the graphics. This was a last-minute situation. I was actually gonna go ahead and go to bed, but I couldn't. You know what I mean? I'm not going to work tomorrow, so I got the time, and I'm gonna build with the family, man. We're gonna talk about it. Where do we start? Where do we start? Where do we start? Listen, let's start off with the young bull, Keyshawn Davis tonight. Where's my paper? Who did Keyshawn fight tonight? Keyshawn fought Ira Johnson. Really, let's be honest. This is his second fight for Keyshawn Davis. This fight was, not say a tune-up, but this is a build-up fight. He's 100% a prospect. Did what he was supposed to do, right? Keyshawn did what he was supposed to do. Took advantage of the physical attributes he brings to the table. But tonight had a certain, a certain theme to the night, right? And I think as we talk about these fights, we'll all maybe we'll agree, but I'll say for me, the theme of the night was the body. The body was the theme of the night, right? Body campaigns across the board, effective body shots all night. I think Xander Zayas threw the most body shots I've seen in a long time thrown inside of a match. Keyshawn definitely worked that body as well. And let me tell you something, from a prospect, when you see them get inside the ring and you see that patience and that poise to work that body, to invest in that body, to not be overzealous and try to steamroll the opponent that's in front of them, but actually dissect and break down the opponent in front of them, it shows maturity. And to me, it's promising in the future of a fighter. Keyshawn showed that tonight, man. Keyshawn showed that body campaign. He showed the different punch selections that he could do. Very good at selecting the shots he was going to put out there, and he got this guy clean up out of there. I mean, it's not a long story. It's not a big story. Keyshawn Davis, like 6'3", welterweight, a big welterweight, strong. You see it in him. Good puncher, good boxing, good athletic abilities, good instincts. I see a lot coming for Keyshawn. He obviously is in a building stage. He'll continue to build. Keyshawn Davis was looking real good tonight. Congratulations to him. Now let's talk about Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson tonight fighting a Marios Calais. Who is this guy? This guy from Greece, from Greece, a heavyweight. This was supposed to be the comeback fight for Jared Anderson. Going into this fight, guys, Jared Anderson, there were questions. Because even at the end of, and we'll remember and jog anybody's memory who doesn't remember, that he had just come off of a devastating loss against a Martin Bakole. Somebody who was unknown, but once you did a little research on Martin Bakole, most people that I know understood that more than likely Jared Anderson was going to be in trouble. Jared Anderson has always shown some holes in his game, right? But in recent times, Jared Anderson communicating that he didn't want to be in boxing for long, that he wasn't into the championships. He was only here for his money. You remember Jared Anderson crying in front of Roy Jones Jr., basically saying everybody else wants this, that he doesn't necessarily want the same things for himself. Not a very motivated Jared Anderson. And a Jared Anderson like that going into a fight against a Martin Bakole, you kind of knew what the ending result was going to be. And it was what it was. His head got bounced off the canvas. And he had to go take a hiatus at that point, right? Going against the better judgment of Bob Arum, of all the folks over there at Top Rank. He said, I'm going to take this bag from Turki Al-Sheikh, right? I'll take this bag from Turki Al-Sheikh, and I'm unstoppable. I'm better than everybody. Got his bubble popped that night in Los Angeles in front of Turki Al-Sheikh and maybe all his family members and the people who love him. Showed that he wasn't ready for the big show. So he took a hiatus, stepped out the way for a little bit, but Bob Arum and the team around him wanted him to be active, and they said, yo, let's put this kid in a fight, but let's help him build his status back up. So they put him in there in front of this Mario Calais. I mean, this guy couldn't even keep his pants up, right? He couldn't even keep his pants up. This guy was supposed to be an easy fight for Jared Anderson. But what did we see in Jared Anderson? Even at the weigh-ins, you saw an out of shape, unmotivated guy, right? He talked a good game about what he had to do and how he had to show out and show everybody and remind everybody who he was. But it looks like he just didn't even really, the preparation wasn't, there was no real effort in the preparation to get him ready for this fight, right? And he jumps in this ring and does a 10-round, just a rodeo, a circus clown show in that ring, feet in the cement, not conditioned, putting his punches together like an amateur, getting hit with a lot of clean shots by Mario Calais, and ultimately going to a decision that he ended up winning. But what kind of win did he really get? He really exposed himself to the whole boxing space and showed how unmotivated he was, how disenchanted he is with the sport, how much he doesn't want to box. He was disappointed completely in himself. You could see it on his face. And ultimately, the question has to be there, where's Jared Anderson go from here? What do we do with Jared Anderson at this point? Does Jared Anderson even want to box anymore? How do we approach this situation? Forget about how we approach the situation. How does Jared Anderson approach the situation? It's going to be interesting to watch that develop and watch that come together for Jared Anderson. Because for all intent and purposes, Jared Anderson looked like he walked out of boxing tonight. When he walked out of that ring with that quote-unquote victory he had over Mario Calais, in many ways, it looked like he walked out of boxing, that he's done with boxing. And fair play, because if you're going to perform that way, if you're going to be unmotivated the way you are, if you're going to be that way, then look, it might be time to walk away from the sport, because you can't play boxing. Shout out to Pop Shot Talk, who said he can't play boxing, and you can't do it. You can't do it. And in the heavyweight division, to play boxing is to play with your life. In any boxing weight class, but in the heavyweight division specifically, to play boxing is to legitimately play with your life, right? So Jared Anderson has some decisions to make. I wasn't impressed, to say the least, right, with what he brought out tonight. And I don't know where his mind is at. He was not in the ring tonight. That corner was amateur at best. We're talking about somebody whose last fight, he was under Sugar Hill. How did you go from Sugar Hill and end up, what was that, your homeboys? Your ride or dies, your cronies? Negative, Ghost Rider. Jared Anderson has to go back to the board and figure out what he wants to do with boxing. And before he goes looking for trainers and before he goes looking for new fights, Jared Anderson has to answer a very important question to himself, more than he needs to answer to any of us. And that is, do you even want to box anymore? That's got to be the theme over Jared Anderson's head in the morning, right? That's what everybody should be talking about if they're talking about Jared Anderson. Let me see. Yo Daddy said Jared's corner was giving him solid advice. Jared don't want it no more. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I don't think they were giving him bad advice. I just think that, as we talk about these matches and we're going through it tonight, these fighters have to have corners that they can hear, that they're able to buy into the process of. Jared Anderson was not buying into the process or buying into what his corner was saying to him. They weren't able to motivate him. They weren't able to get the best out of him, like let's say a Don Charles does with a Daniel Dubois, right? Or what's my guy's name? The coach for Joseph Parker, and Andy Lee, like an Andy Lee does for Joseph Parker, right? Or a Sugar Hill does for, let's say, a Tyson Fury, right? I can go down the list of these trainers, or Robert Garcia does for a Rayo Venezuela. You need to be able to buy into that process and believe into what your trainer is saying. Jared Anderson was on his own tonight. He wasn't listening to his corner at all. That's not a shot at the corner, but it is to say that how effective can the corner be if the fighter has not bought into the process of what the corner is offering, right? It is what it is. But we'll see what Jared Anderson does, right? Horrible performance. He did get a victory against a fighter, like I said, who couldn't even keep his pants up in the ring. At one point in time, I thought Mario Calais was literally going to give us a Mike Tyson cheek shot, right? Shout out to Mike Tyson. It is what it is. Another fight that showed up right after that fight, I believe after the Jared Anderson fight, was Rohan Polanco. Rohan Polanco, a welterweight, I think ranked like number 13 in the WBO. Rohan Polanco is a, listen, man, I like what this Dominican, he's from the Dominican Republic. I like what he's bringing to the space right now. Very James Toney-ish type approach with that shell, sitting there inside, working inside that mid-range, catching punches on his gloves, catching punches off his shoulders, counter-punching, generating a lot of power, being that just the way he's standing there, able to generate power in small spaces. The punches aren't wide, real tight, so the defense is decent. I like what I saw from Rohan Polanco tonight. I'm definitely going to be interested in seeing what he does and what they're able to do, what Top Rank's able to do with him, man. I think he's ready for some big fights. His last 3 fights, he was able to just completely get rid of these guys that weren't on his level. This guy in particular that he fought, Jean Carlos Torres, pretty much no mas, took a knee and never got back up. And, maybe he shouldn't have got back up because Polanco was able to hit him with clean right hands right up the middle, beautiful shots, great overhand left hook checks, just able to do a lot of bad things to Carlos Torres, and just showing that he's levels above the game. It's time to step Rohan Polanco's competition all the way up, 100%. It's time to step it all the way up. Does he need to be in a championship? No, it's the welterweight division. There's a lot of things going on up there, but there's definitely some fights that he should probably be getting put in. We'll see how that works out. I'm loving Rohan Polanco. Shout out to Pop Shot Talk. Pop Shot said, we appreciate the live chat. We need this space after matches. Big ups to the show. Boxing needs Keyshawn's energy. Forget 12 fights. Believe your eyes. 100% Pop Shot. 100%. He's bringing the intangibles, man. And we're going to talk about Keyshawn tonight because we're going to talk about the performance. We're going to talk about Dennis Berinchyk. Dennis Berinchyk was psyched out very early, right? Very early, right? And Keyshawn just, once again, the thing about Keyshawn I think you got to love the most is if you're not supposed to be in the ring with Keyshawn, he's not going to let you hang out with him in the ring. And that makes Keyshawn Davis must-see boxing. He's a next upcoming superstar in the 135-pound division. And quite frankly, probably the most dangerous fight for Tank Davis right now at 135 pounds. We'll talk about it. But quite frankly, probably the most dangerous fighter. I mean, Shakur Stevenson brings these intangibles. He's such a high IQ, high-level fighter. But with the way we've seen his hands, they're looking brittle. We need to see him do some things. He literally has to show us again why he should be in the ring with Tank. He hasn't been able to do that in his past couple of fights. I mean, the last fight he had with Artum was a good fight, but once again, was that guy going to beat Tank? Right? The fight with De Los Santos speaks for itself. We know he's had hand issues, so we got to kind of see what he does next week when he goes against Schofield. But Keyshawn Davis is ready to go now. He's ready to go right now. And we'll talk about that as well. We'll definitely talk about that as well. Thank you, Pop Shop Talk, for the love. putting it in the chat, man. So where was I at? We was on Rohan Polanco picking up his competition. Let's go ahead and go into Abdullah Mason. No, let's go into Vito Melnicki. Vito Melnicki and Connor Coyle, the Irishman, had a throwback Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward 3 fight, right? Great fight, man. A great development fight. Watch the call out, Clay. I'm definitely watching it. I like Keyshawn, and I hope he get the Tank fight, but Tank would stop Key. I mean, look, man, maybe he will. Watch the call out. Who know you, buddy? I don't know who you talking to. I hope it ain't me. But Rich, you can't even keep it boxing because you don't know. I don't get if you box or box. You don't know. Okay, that's between you. I'm gonna let you guys have at it. Y'all can have at it. Lance Meyer says, I don't know. Lance Meyer, salute to you, by the way. I haven't seen you in a white, Lance Meyer, in a while. Fam, Keyshawn literally jumped through the roof on accident. Y'all watch when he finished Berinchyk. He was so happy to win his world title. He damn near hit the ceiling. Yeah, man, excited, man. A lot of energy Keyshawn Davis has, man. But, man, he broke down Berinchyk. Berinchyk tried to make this a very awkward fight for Keyshawn. He tried to bring that Israel Madrimov energy into the ring, jumping all around, being irky-jerky, and Keyshawn was able to take his time and look with the guidance of Terrence Crawford as well, with the guidance of Bomac. And we're going to talk about that as well tonight as far as support is concerned. Family, the Mason 5, Abdullah Mason and his family, how powerful that makes Abdullah Mason. We'll talk about, the same thing with Keyshawn, with the support system he has around him, with his mother, his sister, his brothers, Terrence, Shakur, Bomac. All these guys have something in common, man. And they're insulated and they're committed to boxing, not only what goes on in the ring, but what goes on outside the ring, to the lifestyle of boxing, the way they're committed and what that is manifesting and turning into in the ring. We got to talk about all that, right? So shout out to Lance Meyer, man. He definitely was excited, man. Definitely was excited, and he should have been excited after a victory like that. A lot of people thought that fight was going to be way more competitive than that. Dennis Berinchyk does bring a high pedigree of fighting, Olympian, silver medalist on the same team as Vasily Lomachenko and Alexander Usyk and Alexander Voznik, right? That's that same Olympic team that Ukraine had, and he got a silver medal. They thought it was going to be way more competitive, but Keyshawn showed pro box is different from the Olympics and the amateurs, and there's levels to this game. But let's go ahead and get into let me see, Vito Melnicki. Vito Melnicki, a middleweight, man. I like what I saw tonight. Was it a draw? I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know what you guys thought about it. I'm never around Clay, but I'm always here. Oh, no doubt, Lance Meyer, no doubt. It was a great fight, man. Is Vito Melnicki special? No, I don't think he's special. But I think he's a great dance partner, and I think he's developing the right way. In fights like he got in tonight with Connor Coyle, it's going to make him a better fighter. These are the kind of fights that I want to see. To be honest with you, I want to see Abdullah Mason in the ring with somebody like that. That's what I want to see. I think it's time for Abdullah Mason to jump into the European-style fighters, Eastern European-style fighters, the boxers, the fundamentally sound fighters. It's time for Abdullah Mason to see that kind of competition. He's been seeing a lot of flat-foot Mexican come forward power punchers, like people who are going to stand right in front of you, and he's been able to make waste of these guys. But if you guys don't want, and if the world doesn't want Abdullah Mason to become a hype job, then we're going to want to see him develop. And we don't want to see him develop in championship fights. We want to see him develop now. He needs to get those looks. Abdullah Mason needs to get those looks, man. That's how I see it. I think he does great against the competition he has in front of him, but you put Abdullah Mason in there with obviously a Tank or even a Shakur or even a Tiafimo, obviously Keyshawn, even a Floyd Schofield, he can get hit. He can get hit and he can get hurt. He has a very wide stance. And he kind of limits his movement a little bit. And I see him pretty much trying to catch shots on his gloves, but kind of like Boots does, he gets clipped. what's going to change that is the kind of fighters that you put in front of him that are going to be able to take advantage of that and force him to change, force him to move in the right direction and develop the right way. If you don't get the right fighters in front of him, he's not going to develop. And then when he gets in the ring with an Andy Cruz, let's say for a title or for a title eliminator, he may get exposed. He might get exposed, man. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Abdullah Mason looks good, has a lot of pressure on him. I can see that, you know, a lot of pressure on him, but with that family structure he has around him, with his father, he's able to kind of bring him down. We got to remember Abdullah Mason's a young kid, 20 years old, man, 20 years old, man, doing everything that he's doing. And he has such an old soul, such an old, mature vibe about him. But the reality is he has to grow up a little bit. He has to mature a little bit in the game, and he has the right support system around him to do that. I wouldn't want to see him rushed, moved faster than he needs to be moved. He's so young. Take your time with him. I think he's like 17 fights right now, 15 knockouts. Take your time with him. Put him in front of the right fighters, man. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Let me see here. Hoodridge, who is MIA fighting on 3A? Who's MIA fighting on 3-8? Rolling with the punches. Salute. Ross Scott said Mason's the future star. 135. His activity is key. Fighting different styles. That part right there, right? Right, Ross Scott? That part right there. Fighting different styles. I think it's time that they start switching them up. Me and Blue were talking today. And listen, man, I think a Joe Cordina would be a great fight for Abdullah Mason, stylistically. And I think somebody else brought up a Giovanni Cabrera, another great fighter, a boxer, somebody who's not going to sit there, stand in front of him, try to knock him out, somebody who's going to make him fight from a cerebral way, break down, cut off the ring, use his IQ. He needs that kind of fighter in front of him. Let me see here. Clay, MIA is Maya Ellis, Coach Kenny's daughter. Okay. I got you, Dub. No doubt. I've never seen her fight before, but I know she's supposed to be a good fighter, but I've never seen her fight. I know Kenny working with her, so it is. Who's Lance? Lance Myers? He's a unique individual. Why what is he doing? Was a trust hood Rich? I heard Rich 410 was a trust fund baby. Yeah, Rich. Welcome to Lance Myers' world, bro. He don't mean nothing by it. He's just a unique personality, an acquired taste. You know what I'm saying? He's an acquired taste. Try not to take it personal. Yeah, Hood Rich. Nico Walsh, I didn't even talk about him. I didn't even see him fight, but I heard he just played himself. You know what I mean? But, you know, that's a trust fund baby. Nico Walsh is a trust fund baby, for sure. You know what I'm saying? He is definitely a trust fund baby. Nothing that impressive to see, to be honest with you. He has a lot of work to do. I think he's just boxing just because, you know, he can. So he does. But where's his career going to go? I don't know. He got to develop just like everybody else, right? At least he's not a YouTube boxer, but is he going to make it far? Time will tell that story. You know what I'm saying? Time will tell that story. But Abdullah Mason just got, you know, he looked real good tonight, man. And I see what everybody else sees. I see it as well, but I got to be honest with you. He needs to see some different looks. That's what I think Abdullah Mason needs to do next. We'll see what he does. We'll see how it turns out. But if you keep putting up them fighters in front of him that are just going to stand in front of him and try to punch with him, he'll look good until he runs into some champions who are going to change the pace up on him, and he might get exposed. It might be a bad look for him. Don't hate me. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Don't hate the messenger. Don't hate the messenger. So what's the next fighter we want to get into here? We did Keon, we did Abdullah. I guess we can jump into the co-main event fight, right? We could jump right into Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas was supposed to do what he did tonight, right? That's what was the game plan for Xander Zayas, right? Was to deliver a message toward the 154-pound division. Xander Zayas calling out Sebastian Fundora, talking about he wants to go and fight a Virgil Ortiz. Big words for Xander Zayas, right? Big words, multiple syllables. And a lot of people were sleeping on his ability to do that. But tonight, the fight against Slava Spomer was going to separate him from the rest of the division and put him not only as a contender, but put him as the elite in division. I think he did a good job doing that, guys. I think he delivered. He definitely delivered. Xander Zayas from round one, looking like he damn near broke Slava Spomer's nose, but the body campaign was second to none. The way he invested to the body, the way he moved, the way he was able to get under that right hand and turn Slava Spomer and always ended it with body shots. I think he hit him with more body shots than I've seen somebody get hit in a long time, and ultimately was able to stop Slava Spomer in the latter rounds of this fight. One might say that if Xander Zayas is missing anything, it's the power. The power didn't seem to translate as well as one might hope that it would, because if he had the power, he probably would have got this guy out of there inside of 4 to 5 rounds, in my opinion. Right? He would have got rid of Slava Spomer inside of 4 or 5 rounds if he had the power. But needless to say, he's still accurate. The IQ was there. The footwork was there. The punch placements were there. The body work was work of art. It was a beautiful, beautiful masterclass of boxing going on with Xander Zayas. And 100%, I can see Xander Zayas giving a lot of fighters at 154 a problem. And yes, even some of the champions, and definitely a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of the regular champions, right? Or the interim champions. I could definitely see him giving problems. I could even see, somebody mentioned it earlier tonight, I could see Xander Zayas and Boots having a great fight at 154. And I could see that fight being damn near a 50-50 fight, because Xander's IQ is there. His punch placement is there. Boots will really have to tap into that cerebral energy he has and really show the world who he is. Xander could run it with Boots, I think, as well as with a Virgil Ortiz. He could fight any of those guys, even an Israel Madrimov. I could see him running it with. Now, Bakram, you know what I mean? I don't know about Bakram, but he could definitely do a lot of work. That German was a pussy, though, Lance Meyer says. Hey, man, he wasn't a pussy until Xander made him one, because before he was an undefeated fighter, an Eastern European fighter who had a decent knockout ratio, if not better, the same as Xander Zayas. Going into that fight, people thought that was going to be, way more competitive once again than it really was at the end of the day. So now you can say that after you see how Xander treated him, but he wasn't that going into the fight, right? It is what it is. Lance said couldn't take a punch. That's funny. He couldn't. He took a lot of punches tonight, and he didn't go anywhere. I don't know. I guess we both have different views on that. How about Madrimov Xander? How about the winner of Virgil Ortiz and Madrimov fighting Xander? I think that'd be a great fight. I don't think that'll be the next fight, though. It might, maybe. I don't know. It depends on how the Sebastian Fundora, Cordell, Booker fight goes, because the winner of that fight is either going to fight the winner of Virgil and Ismail Madrimov, or fight Serhii Bohachuk. Either way, vice versa, I expect Xander Zayas to be able to get in the ring with one of those 3 guys, right? Either Madrimov, Virgil Ortiz, or Serhii Bohachuk. That's how I kind of see it right now. I know people are bringing up Charles Conwell. I just think that'd be working backwards for Xander right now, and I think that'd be a big risk, high risk, low reward. He's already up there where he needs to be. The opportunities for him to fight is some sort of interim title or even a title. Why would he walk away from those opportunities or pass on those opportunities to fight somebody like Charles Conwell, who's legitimately behind him right now, right? And at another promotional company in Golden Boy. So I don't see that being the fight for him, Charles Conwell. I think it's going to be up there with Serhii, winner of Serhii Bohachuk, winner of Israel Madrimov and Virgil Ortiz, one of those guys. Or maybe even the loser, right? Maybe the guy who loses might fight him, because maybe the winner of Israel Madrimov and Virgil Ortiz fight Serhii Bohachuk. Who knows? That's probably actually what might happen as well. Who knows? Who we got in the building here? We got Rolling with the punches with the Mexican. Texas 16 said the German didn't look like he acclimated to the state or the race basket incident. Okay. You're talking about the German. Are you talking about the Ukrainian? You talking about Dennis Berinchyk, or are you talking about Spoma? Let's see here. I just felt he was hit a lot. I'm going to put the link down in a minute as well. And of course, I'm going to put the link out right now. As a matter of fact, I'm not trying to be up here all night. I ain't going to lie. I just want to kind of build real quick on what happened here. But I definitely want to talk about this Keyshawn Davis fight. Berinchyk, okay. Yeah. Xander got an early stoppage when dude was still game. He was getting ready to be out of there, Roscott. I ain't gonna lie to you. He really should have took a knee and got a 10 count. That's what he should have did. He was getting really hurt against those ropes, man. I didn't have a problem with the referee stopping that fight. I didn't have a problem with it at all. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't have a problem with it. But Keyshawn Davis, let's see, rolling with the punches. Salute, rolling with the punches. How you doing, family?
Hey, how's it going? Fam? Hey, yo, honestly, people are a little bit scared to come through and talk to you, baby, because you a big, strong man, baby. Come on. No, hey.
Am I? Okay, all right. I don't know why they scared. What can I do? I'm over here on the other side of a monitor, man. What can I do?
Hey. Let me say, you still do your thing, though. But you are, but you are. I'm just saying, all right. Okay, so check it out. Talk about the boxing. I honestly believe that, like, Keyshawn Johnson, man, Key's a beast, dude. I think he's smart enough to know that he has to sell things, right? So I don't know. I think that makes a person a little smarter, dude. Like, it makes him want to like go against the grain a little more. You know what I'm saying? Like Tank might want to hide for a little bit because he don't gotta feel the pressure of trying to set a fight. You know what I'm saying? But Keyshawn trying to set a fight, so that pressure might come get to his ass. So he's like, you know what? Boom. And honestly, that's it makes it more respectable from my point of view to him, because it's like, oh shit, you trying to sell that motherfucker dude by yourself? You didn't have a partner to help you sell the fight. Ain't that something?
Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming up here, man. Yeah, Keyshawn is definitely gonna make had some space to make some moves now. He's a champion now, so we'll see what his next moves are gonna be, man. I appreciate you coming up here, though, man.
I appreciate definitely, you too, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Talk to you soon. Yeah, man. The link is there. Feel free to come up, guys. You know what I'm saying? If you want to build on some of these topics, Keyshawn Davis really made light work of Dennis Berinchyk. Made Dennis Berinchyk, honestly, really made Dennis Berinchyk look like he didn't belong in the ring with him. And it was interesting because we all thought that the fight would be way more competitive. I thought that Dennis was going to challenge him in a real cerebral way, and in a way he did, right? That awkwardness that he brought to the Keyshawn Johnson. Okay, that's somebody playing around. Shout out to Pop Shop. Pop Shop, what's good?
What's good, my brother? What's good?
I'm doing good, man. A nice night of boxing, right?
Oh man, it was outstanding. You got the prospects up tonight. You know, they showing their talent. So, you know, I a lot of these guys that's having these just starting out, they have a lot of amateur experience, and I think that's where you have to go to. That's exactly what they did with Lomachenko. You know, that was the reasoning for them, you know, pushing him so fast, because that he's had, and you know, so you know,
you got a bad connection, Pop Shop.
So about
Pop
that.
Shop, you want to go out and come back in right quick? I think you just want to refresh that connection. You sound like a robot.
Right.
Wait, talk again. Maybe it's working now. Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah, is it still the same?
No, you sound
still
better.
The same.
You sound better.
All right. Okay, yeah. I was just speaking on the fact that Keyshawn only has, like, you know, a small amount of fights, but you know he got a lot of amateur experience. You know that kinds of translates over. You know, we can't go back to how it used to be. You know, fighters having to have 30 and 25 fights before you say they're ready. Now these guys are coming in the ring now. A lot of them are ready to step up to the challenge. You know, they're claiming their spot. So I mean, put them in there. You know, they're risking their lives in there. So you know, you already see guys like, for instance, just Tank, not just to pick him out, but he's saying, you know, he's about ready to come to an end. You know what I mean? These guys putting in a lot of rounds when it comes to sparring. You know, so they don't really get an opportunity to put in a lot of work in the ring, as it pertains to like live bouts, pay-per-view bouts, because they're only fighting 2 times a year. You know what I'm saying? But when these guys go for sparring and they're getting ready for these bouts, they're sparring like 20, 25 rounds, and they're getting beat on. So that's where the damage is coming in at. So it takes a lot of wear and tear. So when you guys coming in the ring and they're like 12 to 15 fights and they're like, look, I'm ready. Let's see it. Let's do it.
Right. I mean, I agree with you. I think that when you see the talent there, the talent's there. You know, you saw how Lomachenko was able to do it, and they put up a little chart at the end of that fight. On Top Rank put it up showing the record for the least amount of fights, and I believe it was like Lomachenko was up there, did it in 12, I think.
Right.
There was another guy, I can't remember what his name was, but definitely Oscar De La Hoya was up there who did it in 14, and obviously Keyshawn was on that record doing it at 14 as well.
Right.
Yeah, man, people don't like to factor in the Olympians or the amateur careers of these fighters. They like to look at their professional record as a representation of their experience, and kind of like rate them according to that record, but they don't want to count the amateur. They did the same thing with David Morrell. I mean, even though David Morrell did get beat by David Benavidez, people didn't want to acknowledge that his amateur career was going to translate into experience that was going to help him in a fight against a David Benavidez. And they obviously, Israel Madrimov coming into a fight with Terrence Crawford with 10 fights as a professional, they didn't think that would translate as well. It did translate, you know what I'm saying? And Keyshawn Davis, clearly as a WBO champion now in the lightweight division, his amateur career is translating into experience that's helping him in his professional career. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. And yeah, these fights are all legitimate in for all intent purposes, especially when we're talking about a champion. When we're talking about unifications and things of that nature, he definitely earned it. Shout out to Ross Cott in the building saying Keyshawn Johnson. I know where that came from. That was hilarious. That was definitely hilarious. I had to kind of like, I had to navigate that. What's good, Ross Cott? You there?
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm just chilling, man. I wasn't really impressed with Keyshawn because Dennis Berinchyk got a style that's just really ugly. Like he could make a really good fighter look bad, especially if they can't adapt. And we saw him adapt in 4 rounds. I don't know if you guys noticed, there was a lot of clashing, a lot of hugging and holding in there. And yet, Dennis Berincyk's face was busted up in the 3rd round.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, right? That face was busted up. 4 rounds, those body shots, he's gone. This kid keeps improving each time he fights. I said that before, each time. And not only that, Abdullah Mason is improving each fight.
Yes.
Right.
This guy is on Keyshawn's tail, and he don't even know it.
Yeah. Abdullah Mason just has to have patience with himself. What I saw tonight was I saw him frustrated with himself. And I saw him frustrated with himself in a victory where he did what he was supposed to do, right? But there's pressure on Abdullah Mason. That's my personal take on it. I think his 5 brothers, his father, if you look at the all access that they had, that Top Rank did for the Mason brothers, you kind of see how they living, you know what I mean? It's small home, does not look like the home has 6 bedrooms, but they're all living with each other. If you catch my drift. Abdullah Mason being very clear that he's acknowledging what his father has sacrificed in order to put them in that position. And he feels a real need to be successful as a boxer so he can give back to his family and put them in a home with 6 bedrooms. You know what I'm saying? Take care of himself and his brothers. Very similar to a Keyshawn Davis mentality, as far as Keyshawn feeling like, I paved the way so that my brothers could come in there. But with the Islam, him being a Muslim and just the understanding of the dynamics of Islam, you can kind of see the pressure that Abdullah Mason puts on himself. And look, bad sometimes, good sometimes, right? It's good because it keeps him serious and it keeps him focused and it keeps him as a committed, disciplined fighter. And he doesn't deal with the distractions of the outside world too much. But at the same time, it could be bad if he's processing it as where he can't even celebrate or live in his moment, in his victory.
Right.
And he's constantly coming down on himself, right? There was actually a moment in the fight where you saw, as his hand was literally being raised in victory, his father had to grab him and it was like a 20-30 second like pep talk in his ear to make him smile, like let him know, like, hey bro, you won.
Enjoy the moment.
Everything is going to come to us the way it's supposed to come to us. I know,
right.
You want to scream out a champion. I want champions, and it's coming. Allow the process you're 20 years old and you're doing great things. But if you move too fast, you can get tricked out your spot if you allow your ego to hurt you. So Abdullah Mason's biggest threat and biggest op is himself, is the man in the mirror. He's really that good. But the development part, he's going to have to buy into it. He's going to have to buy into the development part of it. He's going to have to buy into the process. He's going to have to buy into it working and not skipping steps and worry about the next fight. And that's it. Don't worry about 5-6 fights later. You know what I'm saying? Just take the next fight. Win the next fight. Fight.
I ain't gonna lie, fam. I didn't buy into none of that shit you were just speaking about, the religion and all this extra shit about his dad whispering in his ear and all this other shit. But what I do know is that young man showed up and showed out today. He did his thing, man. Not only did he fight good, man, he looked good. That dude was showing out for real tonight.
Yeah. I agree. He showed out, but like I said, the outside pressures are real. You know what I mean? That's my perspective. I feel what you know what I mean? He did do well, but at the same time, and if you watch tonight, when you look at a Jared Anderson and you hear the story of a Keyshawn Davis, right? You look at an Adrian Bruner, for example. I'm going far left field. Mental health plays a huge part inside of this boxing game,
right?
Especially for these young guys, man. And when you look at a talent like Abdullah Mason, like you said, you saw nothing but a great performance. But you don't understand that if there's going to be anything that can hold back in Abdullah Mason, it's going to be the mental part of it. Because physically, skill set wise, he's right there, right? So what would be the biggest thing Abdullah Mason would have to look out for? And we as people who support Abdullah Mason or his family who supports him, what is it that they would have to look out for with Abdullah Mason? It's going to be his mental space. It's going to be that he's bought into the process and that he's not turning everything on himself, right? I mean,
dude,
look,
you can feel how you want about this, and fuck anybody that feels any type of way. That young man looks like he's developing to be a stud for real. That young man looks like, give him another 10 years. That dude's gonna be a fucking stud, man.
Yeah, 10 years that sounds about right, but that's a long time. That's not next year, right? He's talking about championships, right? Salute, Hood Rich. What's good, Rich? How you feeling, man?
Salute, man. Salute. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, definitely, bro. How you doing, man?
How y'all feeling, man?
Man, we doing good. Good night of fights, man. Great night of fights, right?
Man, I'm trying to tell you, man.
What'd you think?
About to get real.
yeah, I know that. I know what you're talking about. We about to get into that as well, right? But what'd you think about Abdullah, man?
Man, Abdullah, he's sharp, man. I like him. He's sharp, but I want to see him fight somebody that's like a mover that won't stand in front of him. Right. I want to see how, like, can he cut the ring off? Can he, like, you feel me? Like, can you set your shots up right? Like, you feel me? Instead of people coming into you and you just catching them with that uppercut, because that uppercut lethal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think that's what I was saying. You know, in his development, I thought, you know, like, put him in front of a Joe Cordina, right? Put him in front of a Giovanni Cabrera. You know what I'm saying?
He told y'all too. He told y'all. They asked him like, who number one? Like, who's Tank?
Oh
Tank.
yeah.
Who do you fight like?
Question about who number one is at 135. I mean, I think people be in denial if they don't. You know, I mean, you can have your personal feelings
Keyshawn
about
didn't
who
say
you
that.
like better.
No, Abdullah did. We
Keyshawn didn't say that shit though.
Keyshawn didn't say nothing. He just said he wants to fight whoever's got a belt. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, Abdullah Mason heading in the right direction, but he's a young dude, bro. So let's just hope he moves the right way. Let's hope they move him the right way, develop him the right way. There's no rush. He's 20 years old. You know what I mean?
He's gonna be scary, man.
He's scary right now to a large degree. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely scary to a large degree right now. But we'll see what happens with him. But so what do you think about Keyshawn's performance though?
I see a lot of stuff. I see a lot of stuff that people don't see about Keyshawn, bro. Like, great fighter, man, great fighter. But I just see stuff. I see stuff like he got like reindeer legs. Like, y'all don't be seeing his legs. Like his reindeer legs, like it'd be like,
man, this motherfucking trust fund baby getting up here talking like about Keyshawn.
Blair Witch, you're bugging, bro. Just calm down with the cussing a little bit. You're going hard, bro. You're killing my algorithm.
I'm just saying, I can't have that fucking trust fund baby getting up here talking about fucking Keyshawn.
I'm gonna have to put you in the back, bro.
Bro, hold up.
Cussing, bro.
Hold on, hey Claymore, hey Clay.
Yeah,
real quick. I don't want to get into what they got going on, but Clay, when people curse, it doesn't hurt your algorithm. If it's anything like racial terms or anything like, you know, religion type stuff, that stuff will mess up the algorithm. But people could curse, it won't do anything to your algorithm. Be honest with you, it won't.
Okay.
But this your channel, so I gotta respect it. I ain't gonna curse. I ain't gonna curse on here, brother.
Yeah. I don't mind like a slight curse here and there, but not just.
I was out of pocket.
Just you know what I mean, calm it down a little bit and
I was out of pocket. Let Hoodrich let.
What's your problem with me, bro? Like, I remember I cooked you on here before.
It's
now
just your name, Bubba. It's just your name. It's just your name, bro.
So
you fucking trust fund baby looking at you fucking Hoodrich motherfucker. Shut the fuck up,
bro. I will hurt you, bro. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All right, leave it there. Leave it there, man. Let's just talk boxing, man. Let's not turn this into Clubhouse.
This man got me in black folks' business.
Yeah, this ain't Clubhouse. This ain't Clubhouse, bro.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Let's build on this boxing. But
I wanted to speak right on you. What you said about was it Abdullah Mason? He could possibly put himself in like the Roy Jones type effect. You know, is that he's so good that other people don't want to put their fighters up against him because of the threat of them possibly losing. You know, so that could possibly factor into his his opportunities at being a champion. So he may have to take some of those lesser fighters or fighters that's going to stand there, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He just had to build like that, but. He's like they say, he's that nice, because he places his punches, and all that. His timing was on, but I'm looking like it'd be hard for somebody to just, for him to just get the good fights because people like sitting back, like they're protecting their old, that's like the new thing now. Everybody protecting their undefeated records, so it's going to be hard for him. But he showed that he can be hit his last fight before this one, so we yet to see that if he goes against better competition, if that chin is is up for the challenge.
I agree with that. I do believe that like I said, when it comes to Abdullah Mason, man, he's such a talent development, man. Let him develop right, because I know people are going to want to put like the he's ready right now crown on him because you see he's stopping so many people, but
not nobody.
He don't got no pressure on him to do nothing crazy right now. And like Hoodrich said, I want to see him in front of a couple of more different stylistically, some different styles, some different approaches, and I want to see how he deals with that. I don't even Jay Pitt. I'm gonna be honest with you, not even Andy Cruz, bro. I don't even want to see him in front of Andy Cruz right now. I'd like to see him put him against some Europeans, man. I'm telling you, some Eastern Europeans, some Europe. You see how like the kind of fighters who are going to deliver a fight like what happened with Vito Melnicki tonight and Connor Coyle. Though Connor Coyle, that kind of like style boxer, Luke Campbell type energy, you know what I'm saying? Who's gonna sit there and box and stay behind a jab. They're gonna stay fundamentally sound. They're gonna move around. They're gonna force Abdullah to have to cut the ring off, find them in the ring. He's gonna develop, somebody who could maybe even take him to the 12 rounds. Let's start thinking like that. Let's put him in the ring with somebody who's gonna take him in 12 rounds. So let's see him adjust and move around and be cerebral inside the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Even that though. A great fight for him, but Top Rank ain't gonna do it because they both young, up and coming prospects. Vargas.
Who?
Emiliano.
Yeah, but Vargas is up at 140 now. So.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he at 140 now. He competing up there. Emiliano's kind of like the same to a degree, man. Like flat-footed, Mexican, coming forward, power puncher. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be a great fight, but I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think there's a good chance Abdullah going to sleep him. I ain't gonna lie. I think he'll get stopped.
He know that though, but
yeah,
DB3 versus the Vargas 3, man, that'll be crazy.
They always pushing that, right? They always pushing that. That would be crazy, but I don't think it could work really. I mean, you got Fernando. He's like what, like
154, 160, something like that.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So who's he gonna fight? I guess he'll fight Keon. If Keon wants to go to 154, because Keon a big 147 pounder, and then obviously you'd have Emiliano against Keyshawn, and who would fight Kelvin? The other one, Amando's like a 126er. He's like a 126 pounder.
All right, y'all. My mom's calling. I gotta go.
All right, brother. Have a good evening, man. Thanks for coming through.
Be easy.
Yep, shorty.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. Man. You know what I'm saying? I would like to see Abdullah Mason get that development, man. I would like to see him, get in front of the right kind of fighters. But what did you guys think about Xander, man?
I felt like Xander. I felt like Xander. He went in this fight. He did good, but he went in this fight. Like you can tell, he went in this fight. Like he heard all the noise. Like, oh, he ain't got no pop. He ain't got no pop. Mm-hmm. He was trying to make a statement. He did though, but he got caught trying to do that. Like, right. So,
I'll just say this, man. Salute to my brother Claymore, your boy BBO. But I'll just say this, man. Xander beat enough Amazon Flex drivers, man. I want to see him in there with somebody with a post, man. If I see him in there with another Amazon worker, bro, I'm gonna just throw up, man. It's just what it is. It looks good, but I don't know if you caught it, Claymore. Did you see Ishmael Mason, the future of boxing, on the pads for Abdullah?
On the pads for Abdullah?
Yeah, his younger brother, bigger, stronger, got power in both hands.
I heard he the one.
Ishmael is the one, bro. And
I didn't know.
We waiting on him, man. Abdullah's cool, but Ishmael's the one. It's almost like the Mellow Ball, Lonzo Ball thing. We just waiting on the baby brother to get it. I think he's like 17.
Hard for him to top Abdullah though, like
because I seen him. He fought the same time as Ryan and Devin did last year. So to my man Ohio Runs Boxing, we got to both see him and tell you, man, if he can stop beating them hot Cheetos, bro, the dude gonna be that guy, man.
Bro, they all good, bro. Like they all good, but I want to know why they not with Top Rank. Like, what are they doing? Like,
who not with Top Rank?
All the other brothers.
The other brothers.
No, they all with Top Rank. If you with Jay Prince, you with Top Rank, pretty much.
I know, but like, where do they be fighting at? Like,
they're not pro yet.
They not pro, but plus they moved. They down in Houston too.
The older one that got the facial hair and stuff that be right there next to him all the time. He fight too.
Yeah, let me shout out Warrior Class right quick so I get it out the way. Shout out to Warrior Class with the platform. Keep it solid, keep it G, keep it 100 boxing talk. 100%, man. That's all we trying to do over here, man. Thank you, man.
Facts.
But yeah, I can see what you said, Claymore, about putting him in there with one of them hard Soviet Union fighters. Because that's when you find out if you can fight it or not. Because people talk about Bud, yeah, but nobody looks good against some Soviet Union dudes, man. They just don't. They can really fight. So but I will say this though: if Abdullah fought Emiliano Vargas, man, Emilio stops him, man. You see what he did?
Emiliano?
You see what he did to that old man? I know you seen that, Claymore.
Wait, if
Emiliano
who
stops him?
stops
Emiliano
who?
stops him.
Stops who?
Stops Abdullah.
Ooh.
Vargas is like his dad, man. He's just like his daddy,
know.
man.
I don't know about that, man. I ain't gonna lie. I think Abdullah does well against those fighters. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I think those guys who coming in there and who just have no stop, who just go, I think they walk into bad energy.
He's gonna beat the afro off of him, man. He's gonna beat the afro off of him, bro. I'm trying to tell you right now. And you my brother and I love you, but it's all good. He's gonna beat the soul food out of Abdullah Mason, bro.
There's a reason he got out 35.
At 40,
mac and cheese and collard greens out of him.
Man, there's gonna be fried chicken everywhere. You're gonna be like, man, he just beat the peach cobbler out this nigga, man. That's what y'all gonna say. They're gonna say, man, BVO told me this. Yeah, dude, he's gonna beat just like what we seen Tank beat the Mexican pizzas out of Ryan, man. Some guys you just know what it is, man.
Nah, I don't got that happening. I ain't gonna
Me
lie.
neither. I'm with you, Rich. I don't think so, man. I'm telling you, I think stylistically he's just made for Abdullah. I think he just falls right into place with what Abdullah wants, bro. Abdullah, yeah, man. I mean, listen, man. Abdullah has to do better. I think the who was saying it earlier today. I think it might have been Warrior who was talking about it. I think the stance is a little too wide. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think he concentrates on trying to catch punches too much, rather than moving. You know what I mean? And getting his head out the way. He's always trying to catch the punch. And very similar to Boots. Love Boots, but Boots kind of has the same issue. And what he's finding is when he gets in there with those high level fighters is they're able to find him and they're able to connect with shots. That's why Karen was able to hit him. David Avanesian was able to hit him, and people, hold him accountable for getting hit more than he should get hit, and really questioning, is that going to be something really bad at 154 when you have all those punches up there? Abdullah needs to, like I said, you put him in front of the
all
right
skill,
fighters,
all talent, no skill, Clay. That's the problem. These Boots is all talent. Same thing we'll do. They all talent, no skill. This ain't no Rocky shit, man. You gotta have skill, bro, or you'll get your ass kicked. You gotta have some skill in this game. And I haven't seen skill from Boots, and I've seen limited skill from Abdullah. You just see a lot of talent. A lot of guys look like Michael Jordan, man, when they playing midgets, bro. But when you get in there with somebody who can really crack, we seen it do with the Shag beating the life out of Abdullah. You forgot he was on the canvas? Almost
Who
went down.
you talking about Johan Vasquez?
Yeah.
Bro, if somebody
Nobody would mistake Johan as no world beater.
Bro, if
nobody would mistake Johan as no world beater.
If somebody got popped and they touch anybody's chin, anybody can fall, bro. Anybody.
But if they get up, that's
I was just about to say, when you coming up, you might face a nobody that could crack. It happens all the time. It's happened throughout history. We got Hall of Famers that got L's on their record against a complete nobody, but that nobody didn't do anything great after that win. So it don't matter. It don't matter if Mason got dropped in that fight. What I saw in that fight is him come back from getting dropped and beat this guy, when we've seen world champions get dropped and did not come back.
All right.
Well, I don't know. Well, see, you know what that's like? That's like saying I give Ryan credit for getting off the canvas and stopping Luke Campbell. I mean, it's got to count who you fighting. And I'm telling you, these guys are not showing enough skill. They showing you that they can box. They showing that they stronger and better than the guys in front of them. I just feel like this. If you look at Abdullah Mason right now, what would a guy like Tank do to him? What would a guy like Shakur
He's not
do to
even
him?
ready yet, though. Like,
No, that's what I'm saying.
But he's not ready for Tank.
No, this is what
he's not ready for Tank.
This is hold on. I know y'all love. I know that's just Lord and Savior, but I'm just saying this. I think you got to really gauge guys off who they're going to fight at the top level. If you don't see that they can beat them,
though?
Okay, yeah. Tell me what it is that he's doing that doesn't show that he doesn't have skills.
Right. What is your definition of skills?
A skill is something as simple as, I'll give you an example of skill. Every time I've seen David Benavidez these last few fights, he's gotten better at something. His jab has gotten better. His defense has gotten better. His footwork has gotten better. You're going to see guys develop things if they put in that work in. We see Benny become a whole different. This ain't the same Benavidez that fought, what was his name, Darrell? That ain't the same guy. This is a whole different person because he's putting the work in, and you see the skills developing. You see his feet get better. You see him get a jab. You see him learn how to use his offhand better. You see him put his
So
combination
Mason ain't
together.
get better. Like y'all ain't see his defense get better. He barely got touched or nothing. Like,
He getting the dude was a dog on Amazon driver, bro. What are you talking about?
bro,
The dude took his uniform off before he
he
got
got
in the ring.
mileage on him, bro.
All right.
Like,
So let's look at it this way. I'm tapping in. What's up? Salute to the panel.
salute, Ray.
Listen,
Salute, man.
All right.
listen. Abdullah Mason showed something different today, right? He
Right.
went in there with a game plan to try to put in rounds. If you actually look at what his
Exactly.
plan was, he came out there using the jab. He looked out there to fill in missing pieces to the puzzle because he knocks people out.
Took his
And
time.
in the last fight, he took a knockdown or two.
Right.
So it looked like he was looking like he was working on things. He got to the point where his dad said in the second round, all right, you got to get him up out of here. What did he do? He stepped to the plate. He moved forward. He got him out of there. Why?
Right.
Maybe it could have been to the wrist because this guy could have got lucky with a shot because he was getting too close on those when he was getting inside on Abdullah Mason. That's when he was doing his job, his work. So his dad could have been like, "Hey man, this goes longer than what we need it to be. It could be in trouble." Or he could have just been like, "Yo, let's just move on. Let's get up out of here. This guy's he's not even going to give you a workout." You know what I mean? Which I think that was the case. And they got him up out of there. But he went in there with the intention to jab, to utilize his skill set, to work on some things. Now, I can say he has to work on his footwork. His gait is a little wide. He has a very wide stance. I think he needs to shorten that a little bit because even when he's turning and he's utilizing his
That's how he got caught too last fight.
Right. And he utilizes his jab, his hooks. If you look at his pivot foot where his anchor is, he's on that anchor way too long. He can't get up out of there because he's going to be slow moving. So maybe it was things like that he was working on. But to say that his skills are not developing is incredibly crazy.
You're going to see it, but I'll say this. Do you remember when Gary Russell had all them fights and Loma came and whooped that ass? I'm trying to tell you, all these fights don't mean nothing. If you get in there with somebody awkward who can really fight, they're going to fuck him up, bro. It's just that simple. We could play these games because he's a young black fighter or whatever, but bro, if he don't stop fighting these cans, we won't know what he can do. It's just that simple.
He's a prospect, right? Respectfully, he's a prospect.
He's not a prospect.
He's not a contender. Yeah, he doesn't go into contender until he gets a 10-round fight.
He hasn't even fought a 10-round fight.
Right. He's still a prospect. He even said it.
This is what I'm saying. How long is he going to be a prospect?
When they think he's ready. That's his management team. His management team has to believe he's ready for that. When he's ready, he wants to go to that. If you heard him in his last couple of fights, he wants to be in the 10-round fight.
Saying it.
Right. They're holding him back.
Holding back or protecting him? That's the question. Are they holding him back?
I didn't say no one's protecting him. My question is this. Let's just make it simple. Does he pass the eye test as a prospect?
Against what? The moment you put him in there with somebody with a pulse, he on a canvas fighting for his life.
It's not about that. It's not about Boots. Boots was in there with pulses. If that's the case, he passed the eye test to many people. Does he pass the eye test as a boxer? When you look at his skills, you look at the things he brings to the table, regardless of who he's fighting. Does he pass the basic skills test of boxing?
You talking about Boots? Or are you talking about
Abdullah Mason?
I think he got a lot of work to do, man, on his skills. I think he got a lot of talent. I don't give talent credit. You got to have some skill. This ain't no Rocky shit. I know y'all like that Rocky stuff, but you got to have some skill. Can you tell me his jab is good? No. Can you tell me his footwork is good?
Listen.
You know what he need? I'm gonna tell you what he really need. He probably just need to get somebody else in that training camp to show him some basics because he's going off of natural talent. That's not always good.
His brother doing a great job, man. But look.
Not saying he can't, but why wouldn't you get somebody in there who's been doing it, who can bring him to the next level? You see how Jose Benavidez is doing it. He bringing guys in there, and we seeing David get better. You're going to see guys get better if they're working with the right people. It's just that simple. That's just my thoughts on the game. It hasn't changed in 100 or some years. If you work on your skill, we're going to see it.
It's crazy that you say he don't pass the eye test, though. That's crazy, bro.
I'm talking about can I picture him if I'm looking at his trajectory? Can I see him at the top level? Not the way he's going right now.
He's not there yet. Everybody in this panel would probably agree that he's not there yet. The question was, does he pass the eye test as a boxer? Like becoming elite at one point with a few tweaks here and there, as you're saying, does he pass the eye test? That's the
Oh yeah, he got
Does
question.
he
a
look
high
like does he look
ceiling.
like Shakur did at 126 or 130? No. Does he look like Tank did at 126,
But
130? No.
Shakur was at the highest
Yeah, he's
amateur.
been a champion. Yeah, like I mean,
Right.
look,
What I'm saying is you're going to be able to see, you can identify who's going to be the goods. I think y'all in love with his talent and not in love with the
No,
fact that the
bro.
skill's
Look,
not
bro.
there.
Top Rank
Skill's not there.
posted, bro. After he fought, Top Rank posted him and Tank stats when they was both at the same exact thing. Same shit, bro. Same shit. So you can't say like because he don't add up the Tank. Because to be honest, what he
I'm
doing
not
now,
saying Tank is a golden. I'm just giving you an example of somebody that you identify. Hey, I see he could be something this because of the skill. I just haven't seen. I want to see him work on his skill. That's my only
all
thing.
right, all right. So
The
you
skill got to
telling me,
get better, man.
so
To
you
be
telling
great,
me, so you telling me that Emiliano is way better than Abdullah. That's what you saying.
I would say they at the same place. In my opinion, they're at the
No
same place.
way.
But you said he'd beat him.
That's just my opinion. I think he would beat Abdullah, but they're at the same place.
But let's go
Mm.
to your point.
Oh, that's
Let's use
our
the Hall of
takes,
Famer.
man.
Let's use the Hall of Fame and go to your point that when you talk about talent and athleticism, you can go right to Roy Jones. Roy Jones went off of his athleticism and his talent throughout his whole entire career. I mean, he knew how to box, but he could get away with doing what he did for as long as he did. So even now at his older age, he knows how to box because he's teaching boxing, but he's still falling in love with, how to, he's in his head, he thinks he's still as fast as he was when he was younger. So he still kind of use those tricks and he gets caught. That's what happened when he found Tarver. That's what you're saying, that Abdullah Mason has that talent and he's going off of that talent, but he's not using the skill. When he gets ready to up his opponents, when the trainers see that they're ready to put him up against a formidable opponent, then they'll probably start honing in on those skills that he needs to be aware of. So he's probably upset that the fact he can't call out the more tougher opponents because they're telling him, no, you're not ready yet. But he thinks he is, but he's probably not because they see what you're seeing. But to say that he doesn't pass the eye test or doesn't have that skill set,
Crazy.
I think he does. He just hasn't been put in a position to have to do that.
Can I jump in real quick and respond to what the brother just said? Because I agree 100%. It's still early, first of all, in Abdullah Mason's career. And like I said, when he got dropped, that's a learning lesson. So in the future, if that ever happens, he'll know how to deal with it. When Muhammad Ali fought Sonny Banks, no one knew who Sonny Banks was. And Sonny Banks put Muhammad Ali on his butt. And at that time, everyone thought, who was this big mouth kid talking about he's the greatest and blah, 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 this and blah, blah, that. And what happened? He's the greatest heavyweight of all time. So you know why? Because in the future, he ended up getting better. We still at the early stages talking about this man ain't got no skills is ridiculous.
Right.
I say he
I
needs to
agree.
develop it, and I would disagree. I think Joe Lewis would beat the shit out of Muhammad Ali, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, well, they'll never
Joe
fight,
Lewis
so
would beat the
it'll
shit
never
out of
happen.
Muhammad
Right.
Ali.
Those
all
are
right,
listen.
guys, hold
Those
on,
exactly.
hold
Go ahead, Clay.
on. I need to go ahead and shout out the super chat on World Class 3, Warrior Class 3. In the building with the $10. Says, okay, if Abdullah listened to his dad to get him up out of there. Meanwhile, in other news, Devin didn't listen to his dad. Bill telling him to jab and roll on the Ryan's left hook all night. Just saying. I mean, I think I know what you're trying to say. Basically saying that, he needs to tap into what he's growing, bro. Like, and that's my whole thing with this whole conversation, right? The whole thing with this conversation is that Abdullah Mason is a 20-year-old prospect, bro. 17 wins, 15 knockouts. That's a pretty good foundation to be working off of. That's a pretty decent foundation for somebody who still needs work, who still needs to get better. Damn, right? 17 wins, undefeated, 15 knockouts, and he's not even as good as he's going to be. that's a foundation within itself. Now, there's nobody who's gonna, I don't think, push back with you, BVO, and argue with you as far as saying that he's not ready for a Tank or Shakur or, you know what I mean, maybe even a Keyshawn and these other fighters. Clearly, this kid is a prospect, but he can fix these things very easily. And he's shown that he's a very dangerous, explosive fighter. He's athletic. He has he can see these punches coming. He has that vision. He has that muscle memory. He's there. He just needs to get better. He just needs the opponents to be better, and stylistically, he just needs to face fights that are going to force him to evolve and develop, that are going to make him better. And that's why I compare it with the whole entire Vito Milnecki and this whole entire Conor Coyle fight, because those kind of fights make you better. When somebody's going to sit there and challenge you and move around and not just be there for you to punch, and they're going to make you have to figure out, cut off the ring and do all these different things, those fights are going to develop you. And I think that's the chapter that Abdullah Mason's in. He just needs to get in front of a different kind of fighter. That's it. A couple of different looks, and he'll get better automatically.
Hey, Clay, read Rollo Green's comment. That he sums it up right there.
Let me see here.
If you can.
The Did You See Mason? Hold on. That one? This one? Or is there another one? Is it this one, Ross Scott? It's got to be this one.
Probably the one you say he's only 20.
Let me see. Let me find
And
it.
salute my man, Bang. Man.
I'll just say this. Because I really appreciate you having me on, Clay. I'll just say this. The thing that we're doing now is that we praise mediocrity. If we look at boxing, for those of us who really love the sport, a lot of us is degenerates and love the hell out of this sport. At 20 years old, Mike Tyson was fighting for championships. Muhammad Ali, when he was the mouth of the fight, was fighting for championships. So when you say 20 years old, take the fact out of the age and just realize he only gets so much time. You only get so much time. So say if he fight from 20 to 30, and he's, if he fights from 20 to 30, you only got so much time to get better and to be at an elite level. What I don't want to happen to him is what happened to Gary Russell. What happens with a lot of these great young fighters, they get something called stunted growth. Well, because everybody kisses their ass and tell them that they're great when they're not, we never see them bloom and blossom and become what they are. A great example of that is Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer took a lot of early losses because he wasn't moved so-called correctly. But we just seen him against Williams Zepeda, and he dominated Williams Zepeda in a way we never seen, walking him down, even dropping him. What I'm saying is, you can get to a place in this boxing game where your skill can overpower anything. It's not about why you think a guy as little as Floyd Mayweather was fighting dudes 30 pounds bigger than him. It's because of skill. What? Because no damn talent. What I'm saying, don't fall in love with the kid's talent. Let's see how hard he's going to work. And I'll put it like this. The guys they put him in front of, some's telling them that he's not that guy. Some tell him he's not that guy, because when he got hit, he went right down and tried to run right in and got popped again. And we don't see that from guys who are going to be elite. I've never seen Adrian Brown and Terence Crawford get beat to death this early on.
So right now you speculating then, right? You're speculating.
You're definitely speculating.
That's not true.
And you're speculating based off of, you're speculating at this kid at a ground level, bro. Like you're not allowing him to develop. You're calling it. You're not allowing him to develop, right? You're not. And it's funny because they did the same thing to Boots, right? You're judging him on the back end of victories and acting like he lost, and not acknowledging that he's developing into the fighter that he's going to be. He's not fighting Tank in a month. He's not fighting Keyshawn in a month. He's not fighting none of these guys probably even in the year, maybe not even in the next 2 years. You're not allowing him to develop. And I think look, you're well within your right to have your opinion and your perspective on where Abdullah Mason is. So I'm not going to tell you not to.
Oh no, I feel exactly what you said. I'm just saying when you see
but I'm
guys,
just saying that we're talking about something that hasn't happened.
So Andy Cruz is 29, almost 30, with 5 professional fights. How much time do he got?
Right.
I don't think he's the goods at all. I think once he starts fighting league guy, he's gonna get his ass whipped.
But
he got no power.
Okay.
Shout out to my
Let me
guy.
He's gonna get his
Lorenzo
ass
Johnson in the building.
whipped. He gonna get beat to death, man. They're gonna
Exactly.
beat.
And Mason
They're
has
gonna
more
beat
time than
Andy
him.
Cruz like a pinata when he get in there with the elite
Okay.
guys.
Right. And Mason has more time than him because he's only 20.
Right. And let's tap into this too, right?
And Andy's hold on one second. Andy's definitely the old prospect, and I could see people kind of calling his shot a little bit more because how much changing can he do, especially with where he's at. I want to shout out to the 51 people in the building. Please remember to hit the like buttons, guys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment to go ahead and do that. Go ahead, Ray.
So let's look at it this way too, because when if we go back in time when Floyd Mayweather was what's going on, brother? When
my nigga
Floyd Mayweather was 20 years old, right? And on the break of what is it, like trying to fight all the top guys, Andrew Manfredi, Diego Corrales, all these guys at the time. He didn't get no big fight. He was calling for him. And a lot of people in this camp and people around were saying he's not ready yet. He has some lacking skills. He's too fancy. He's flashy. Everything you're saying. But when he fought Diego, when he got that break, he fought Andrew Manfredi and he got the Diego Corrales fight and all those fights. What did he do? He showed that he was elite. He showed that he did have the talent, and he was able to prove that he had these talents because he believed in himself and he worked at it. As people were denying him, and he watched his own fights. He was developing himself, and when he was developing, he was able to do that and make sure that he got on the right track. Until this day, no one has beaten that man because he was able to develop at a young age and continue to do so.
Yeah. And he got his ass whooped in that gym. You feel me?
And keep in mind, he did a good job of staying away from Winky Wright. But I'll just say this: the only thing I would say about what you're saying, and I agree with you. I do agree with you.
Away from Winky Wright.
All I'm saying is that sometimes in boxing, I feel like because it's the soft culture where we don't want to hold guys to the highest standard. I get what you're saying. All I'm saying is I don't want to see no more Jaime Muguiz. I don't want to see no more Gary Russell Jr.'s. I don't want to keep seeing these guys with these blown up records and then they get their ass kicked right away when they fight anybody with one extra gear. That's all I'm saying.
Because they weren't good. That's all.
Right. And what you're saying is
I'm definitely okay with where you're coming from because I feel the same way. And I think when you're seeing that because of the lack of the development isn't right. You're seeing them because they're getting put in front of stylistically favorable fighters. You know what I'm saying? Like they're getting
the same fighter over and over, Clay. You know what I'm saying? It's the same dude over and over.
And they don't get better. That's why I said it's important right now with Abdullah Mason that he starts getting these different looks. You do it now. You don't put him in front of those fighters in a championship fight or in a big fight because then he looks like that. He looks like a big hype job because he goes 30-0, 28 knockouts, and then all of a sudden he gets just masterclass. You know what I'm saying? He looks like Dennis Berinchyk did tonight against Keyshawn, right? So what's important is that the promoters and the matchmakers understand that as well as making good fights and making exciting fights that the fans want to see, that it's also just as important to put him in the challenging fights that are going to reach out to 12 rounds, 10 rounds, or the full 8 rounds, whatever the amount of rounds of the fight is. And that's going to challenge him and force him to go back to the drawing board with his team and make adjustments and get better and bring the right people into the team and bring the right people into the camp that are going to address the issues. And by the time he gets to the big fights, you have a complete fighter.
And so now you see what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I don't think you guys realize the power of matchmaking. Matchmaking can really make guys
listen. Let me really tap in before you even go on that part. So what I was trying to explain was, all right, so everything Clay said and more, and to your point, right? We don't know. When we get these guys in the ring, you don't know what their kryptonite is. Any fighter can at any given time can beat any fighter. It doesn't matter. This guy can be 0-22 and get a shot off, knock the guy out, like Jaime Muguiz. That guy was undefeated, right? We got to respectfully understand that guy never lost a fight. Though he had 4 knockouts, he has never lost a fight. So has Jaime Muguiz seen that guy before? No. He probably took him lightly. And that happens with fights. That's on the preparation of the fighter to be prepared for his opponent. That has nothing to do with how they're training and how they're developed. That's preparation and studying film, working on your craft, seeing where your weaknesses are, seeing where their strengths are, seeing what, work on the things that you're always used to, work on your strengths as well and make them more pure. Those are the things you have to do in that ring to make that fight even more, that make yourself even better and more elite. Again, as Floyd did, as he was looking for the bigger fights, as everybody thought he was the guy that was never going to beat these top type contenders and champions. And that's what he did. And that's the same thing Abdullah Mason can do. No one's saying Abdullah Mason can go in there and beat anybody right now. But then again, he can go in there. He has enough power. He has enough skill. His defense lacks a little bit. And I think we all said that, right? But at the same time, he has enough to get a lucky win, to get in there and get a shot, and to develop from there. But we don't want to see that. We want to see him pure. We want to see him develop correctly, and want to see him win these fights naturally without having to rely on knockout power, where he's not developing rounds, where he's not developing the lack of talent. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Clay, I gotta go, y'all. I gotta jump off. Salute, y'all. Shakur Stevenson is a bum.
All right,
Get out of here. That dude crazy.
Listen, man. Right? There's moving parts to all these conversations, right? The intangibles are everywhere. So a little bit of everybody's take is an ingredient to a perfect fighter, right? Like everybody's take is legitimate, but ultimately there's an art and a skill to developing a fighter. There just really is. There's no coincidence as to why Top Rank does such a good job developing their fighters in comparison to their peers, right? To their brother and sister promoter companies who don't have a record of developing fighters as well as they do. There's no coincidence there, because matchmaking is a skill set when it comes to aligning matchmaking with the development of the fighter, not only as a fighter, but also in the brand of the fighter to make him a big fighter, to make him a star one day, right? This is all part of the game plan. When you're dealing with fighters, the people who you put them in front, they're only as good as a person who you put them in the ring with. And unfortunately, you have some fighters that will develop accordingly regardless. They'll train accordingly and they'll just get better in all these areas. And they have honest coaches and honest trainers that are around them that are going to make sure they develop in the right way. But my experience, from what I see, a fighter doesn't develop unless he needs to. He doesn't get better unless he needs to. If he's not put in front of a fighter who's going to challenge him the right way to force him into developing, he just more than likely won't develop in that area. And then you'll see him exposed, like what BVO is talking about. You'll see him exposed in the biggest show of his life and be like, damn, that dude wasn't shit the whole damn time. Why? Because he never changed. Why didn't he change? Because he didn't have to change. Who he was worked until this point. So as the matchmaker, it's important to go ahead and put these fighters in front of a well-rounded amount of different kind of fighters so that they can develop. And I think that's hindsight true. When you look at these fights, you just see what it is. You look at Edgar Berlanga, he went 16 fights straight, knocking everybody out. Then all of a sudden, he getting pieced up. And what is he doing when he's getting pieced up? Now he biting dudes, hitting dudes with low blows. You know what I mean? He's frustrated in the ring because he's not used to seeing these different looks. You see the same thing with a lot of other fighters. You know what I mean? Like, God bless Errol Spence, but he either got lulled into fighting one way, because I feel like I've seen him box before, but definitely by the time he got into the ring with Terrence Crawford, he did not even know how to adjust. He just kept trying to push the same game plan over and over again. Why? Because he was able to get away with it and do it with the fighters before Terrence Crawford. That's just the way it works. So salute to Warrior Class 3 in the building with the $5 holler. Yeah, Rolly Romero has been developing the whole time and has never developed. Rinse and repeat, same bad tendencies. Rolly Romero is a great example. Somebody who's never developed because he was able to get away with a lot of BS because of the people that were put in front of him. He was never forced to get better. So he goes in the ring with a Gervonta Tank Davis, which in my opinion is probably the best version of Rolly that we ever seen. And he just digressed and he was exposed, got in the ring with an old man Barroso. And then you can clearly see he didn't even belong in the ring with a Tank, no less a Barroso. So at the end of the day, you're going to see that in different ways. Even with Ryan Garcia, to a degree, he might end up getting exposed if he doesn't get the right opponents in front of him and if he doesn't develop, because he's always depending on that left hook. He gets in the ring with Tank Davis. Tank's like, yo, bro, all I got to do is get under that left hook, bro. You got nothing else. And he made him look trash. Just like
Yep.
that. He didn't
And,
develop.
and speaking of what you said, Clay, fighters try to get their get back. I mean, Mason's no different than Errol Spence in that match. He was no different than Devin Haney in that match. He's no different than other fighters that I've seen. I'm trying to think of recent times that got knocked down, got back up, and immediately tried to get their get back in. It happens. It's a natural instinct to get your get back. The composure is where you need to be. Some people don't have that. They don't have that, and that's something that has to be learned and developed over time. But it will be. Sugar Ray was a person that never went and got their he tried to get that get back. He sat there, went back, he recomposed, he set up, and then he'll go in there and win. He got knocked down many a times. And I think it was learned because it was more embarrassing for him when he got knocked down against Duran, where he did try to go get that get back. And that loss taught him something. So when he went forward with the other fighters, he didn't have that same mentality. He kind of changed that a little bit, and he knew, going in there charging in could be detrimental. And I see a lot of Abdullah Mason skill set underdeveloped, but at the same time, he is that guy. Like, I'm not saying right now, but he will be a great talent. It's just a matter of who's in front of him.
I'll say this, and I'll rest my point on this.
Salute to Dragonfly Jones for becoming a member of the channel, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
This is my point. When you get in there with somebody cerebral, like people talk about this man now because he's a different guy's promoter, but we seen Bernard Hopkins use his brain a lot because he wasn't the most talented guy. We seen him in there with Felix, so we thought was going to beat him to death. He made it look easy. What I'm saying is, a lot of fighters, we give them way too much credit because I've seen matchmakers make Chris Colbert look like a monster. I've seen matchmakers make Africa look like a monster.
Yeah,
these guys look so great with these matchmakers, you forget they're not who you think they are until you actually put them in there with somebody who's dangerous. And all I'm saying is, a lot of guys are fighting the same guy over and over and over again. Of course, they're gonna look like Mike Tyson. You put them in with the same guy. I'm saying the moment you put him in there with an Eastern European Soviet style or a Southpaw, they're going to beat his ass. And that's just how it's been going. That's how it's been going. We thought Errol was good. No, Errol was matched very well. Because we seen him fight that one fight against Mikey Garcia. He was bigger than, and he outboxed him. But guess what? Go ahead.
BBO, I would say this. If you don't develop the fighter right, he's going to get his ass whooped by somebody, an Eastern European. And I think "if" is the big word that's not being used, right? Like, because why? Because Abdullah Mason is just so young. If he's not developed right, I see what you're saying. But if he is developed right, he has the foundation to be one of the biggest threats, if not the biggest threat at 135 and probably 140, because he's got a big frame. He'll probably go up in weight as high as probably like 154 at some point in his career. But at the end of the day, I can't say that this dude is trash. Why is he trash?
No, I didn't say he was trash. No, I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say he's trash.
I know you said he's gonna get his ass beat.
Hey, people get their ass kicked on it, and I think that's what he might need to get better. I'm telling you, when I seen what TF did against Zepeda, man, I was like, oh my God, you really can get your ass kicked and really learn your lesson and become even better. But in this new age, we don't look at that. But I mean, Muhammad Ali got better from getting his ass kicked by Joe Frazier. He got better from that. He got better from that.
But that just goes to show you also.
In the building, guys, please remember, if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. Let's help the algorithm out. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, take a moment to go ahead and do that.
That just goes to show you that even with Muhammad Ali, great example, that people lose. Anything can happen. You could be the greatest of all time and losses happen. It's just a matter of styles making fights, a matter of right moment, right time, a matter of it not being your day. You know what I mean? Things happen. It could be lack of training. We don't know. These things happen. Things come into play. We're over. I think we're overstepping the future here. Like, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Abdullah Mason could be a total bust. You're absolutely right. But what Clay said, if is the biggest, smallest word in the world. We don't know what his capabilities are just yet. We don't know anything until we see him at that level. Right now, he's at a high level at where he's at. As he moves forward and he moves to that next chapter, we'll get to see him tested. That's why we watch the fights. We watch the fights to see how these guys are developing, to see if this is going to be the next great champion, to see if these guys are going to be the next guy to take over the sport and the face of the sport. That's why we watch it. We don't watch it because we sit there and speculate, oh, well, 10 years from now, he's going to run into somebody and the way he fights, he's going to get dropped. Of course, you know what I mean? Things change, but we have to wait and see. That's why we watch the sport.
Oh, for sure. But we on a radio show, man. So we gonna have some fun and talk about it. That's what makes it fun to break down boxing. That's all. He's having some fun talking boxing because like I know, you usually can't get this in depth with anybody on the street about boxing because whenever we talk about boxing, they go, "Oh, I like Mike Tyson. I like Muhammad Ali." Oh, okay.
So, but every now and then you get a high IQ dude who'll be like, I like Oscar De La Hoya. Like, oh, all right, damn, look at you impressing me with your boxing knowledge. But look, man, I don't want to stay on this forever, right? Abdullah Mason, without a doubt, the mere fact that he's in the conversation the way he is and the way we're talking about him, listen, man, he's clearly got the attention of the game. You got a lot of people who are expecting a lot from him, and then you got people like BVO who's pretty much holding him to that standard. What if you guys are expecting that much from him? Then let me be honest with you and say he ain't ready for that level yet. And I think I can respect that as well. But I do want to speak on the actual star of the night, right? The actual man of the hour, Keyshawn Davis tonight, fighting against Dennis Berinchyk, getting himself a WBO championship. He's a lightweight WBO champion now in the midst of Gervonta Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Vasily Lomachenko. He's one of those guys at 135 now. So first, let's speak on going into the fight. What were we expecting?
I just gotta say, man, Bo Mack is a hell of a trainer, bro. I think he's our generation's Eddie Futch because everybody he get, whether it's Chris Eubanks, whether it's Steven So Cool, Bud's Bud's sparring partner and slave.
Right. Even Nelson,
it don't matter who it is. This dude can make anybody get better. So a big shout out to Bo Mack, man. I say give him all the Cheetos he can hold, man, because the boy's coaching his ass off. Man.
I would love to see him lose some weight, man. Off. He scares me, man. I ain't gonna lie. I want to see him lose some weight so bad, bro. Man, please, somebody help him. I don't want to hear about no crazy shit one morning about him, man. But yeah, definitely. Clay. I'm just being honest, man. He just needs. I'm just being honest, bro. I think Bud knows this.
Cold-blooded, man.
Yo, bro, lose some weight, man.
I don't want to get on them crazy.
Yeah, I'm just being honest, bro. We laughing now until we wake up one morning like, nah.
I know you was that rough, bro. You rough.
You know what I'm talking about. We wake up one morning like, nah. Because
he is like 5'2", man. He ain't the biggest dude in the world.
Nah, Bo Mack, stop. Stop playing. How? When? What happened? You know damn well what happened. Them damn Cheetos.
You know
Shout out to Bo Mack.
Hey, the nigga got with all the health nuts, man. Built like a squirrel, man. I don't know what's going on with Theater Chipmunk, but he can coach his ass off.
No, 100%.
You know what's so funny? I don't think people understand the power of a great trainer. But we talk about Muhammad Ali. People forget 3 of his losses came from Eddie Futch fighters. So that ought to tell you how great and how well you can be prepared, where you can really go in there and kick some ass. Because I put like this, I don't support him no more. But if a guy like Tio had a Bo Mack, or think if Ryan came up with Bo Mack. Think about these guys with these skills that just all skill, nothing else. Man, Bo Mack is special, bro. I just gotta give him his credit. He the best trainer in boxing, hands down. And Keyshawn looked amazing. He looked tremendous tonight.
He looked tremendous, and I'm gonna add to the Bo Mack accolades real quick to say, because of Bo Mack is a factor, right? Like when you think about Keyshawn Davis fighting, let's say a Tank, right? And Bo Mack takes it from 60-40, 70-30 Tank to 50-50. You know what I'm trying to say? He brings that extra, like, yeah, but what about Bo Mack? Because what he's going to bring to the table, the knowledge he's going to bring to the table, and Keyshawn Davis's ability to absorb that knowledge and flip that knowledge into actual execution into the ring makes Keyshawn a legitimate threat to Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? Because Bomac will put the game plan together. The reality is, can Keyshawn execute it? And I think that's something that could be up for discussion, however people want to feel about it. But I think he can. And if he does, can he beat Tank? Of course he can. Of course he can. But let's slow down. Let's not go all the way to Tank yet. Let's stay here on this topic of him and Dennis Berinchyk. Going into this fight, when you think about the fights that he had coming to this point, when you think about Pedraza, when you think about Miguel Madueno, when you go all the way up to Gustavo Lemos, and then you go into this fight, me personally, I knew that Keyshawn was going to have to be cerebral. I knew he was going to have some poise and patience. I knew that he was going to have to be able to block out the noise, and it was going to be him, Bomac, and the fighter across the ring from him. How do you guys think he did in that transition?
I'm going to say I think he did well in all those aspects, aside from so much of what Bomac was telling him.
Ray, horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Like, give it a second, I'll come back in. Like, you're a total robot. You're a total robot. Yeah, I can't.
I know why. I got you.
All right, take your time, brother. Whoever else wants to grab it. And the question I had is, how did you feel about him being cerebral tonight? Did he translate well? Did he execute well?
He was an extension of Bomac. You see, one thing people don't even realize, all of Bomac's fighters turn their punches all the way over. Every last one. It don't matter who he got, they punch in the right way. I mean, you could just tell that Bomac really, he didn't just absorb everything Bomac just told him. His footwork looked good. I mean, he just looked flawless. And I'll tell you this, it did help that his opponent was super rattled. You could tell his opponent was super rattled with the whole bananas and watermelon stuff. I really think that really affected them more than they probably gave on, because we all seen that little clip where the manager was saying, man, we didn't do this. We didn't do this. And you look at the champion, he looked like he was flustered, man. And he just went in there and really just took his ass whooping and went home. He didn't really give Keyshawn nothing to really worry about. I mean, he just really sat there, got beat to death, and got his check and went home. So I don't know, but I just definitely can't wait to see Keyshawn against somebody, because I think he can really be something special, especially with Bomac in his corner. I think the sky's the limit. I would love to see him get this title, maybe drop it, go to 40, and then, unify up there, because I don't know if he can stay at that weight division. Because I mean, he made weight okay, but I think he's a little bit too big for the division. That's just my humble opinion. He shouldn't stay too long down there.
No doubt. Hold on one second. You're breaking up bad too. Shout out to Warrior Class 3. Y'all got Warrior Class 3 by himself up in here sponsoring his whole channel, bro. Y'all should put $1 in the damn super chat and refresh and make sure it works. Shout out to Warrior Class 3. 35 cheeseburgers before fighter and dropping Michael Moore. Bomac should be trainer of the. Okay, no doubt. Okay, I got it.
Course for the 835 cheeseburgers.
That's a lot of cheeseburgers, dog. That's all crazy.
He said if he want to be fat, let him be fat. Damn it, he earned it. He trained it a damn year, bro. You stop talking about
my man
Bomac.
Clay. I'm gonna get that call. You gotta watch Clay. That boy, so I'm gonna get.
Listen. I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna stop it. You right, bro. I'm gonna leave it be, bro. I'm gonna leave it where it's at, bro. You right. I'm gonna leave it be, bro. Shout out to N Conquest for putting $2 in the chat, man. Go ahead, people.
Yeah,
or Pop Shop, whoever it was.
Yeah, to answer your question, I think that he did transfer over the information and put it in action. You can tell by the second round when they went into the corner. And he was telling them, to step back, don't let them hold you. You know what I'm saying? That you kind of snuffing out your punches. So when he stepped back and shit, not even Bomac, he was listening to what Terrence was saying outside of the ring. So he told him, about the going to the body. So when he did that, I mean, it wasn't long after that he just put him down, because that first body punch was like a flash punch. He was kind of off balance coming in, leaning, but he caught him clean. You know what I'm saying? So by rule, it was a knockdown because he wasn't really hurt because you don't jump up from a body punch like that. You know what I'm saying? But that second one was flush. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it was turned over. He saw it. He had his eyes open. He was looking at it. Berinchyk was, linked down, and he was looking dead at the spot. So it was the body punch. As a matter of fact, we had a lot of body punches, knockouts tonight. And it go when you speak on his weight, he actually came in as the lighter guy. I think that he's in real good shape, and he probably can make 140 real easily. But I think that he's probably a move up if he gets that that offer. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, either he's gonna send out the contract or you send a contract out to me. So either way, I think that to determine if he's gonna move up or stay where he is, because he knows who he wants to call out. He knows who he wants to fight because he said champions. He didn't say just anybody. He said the top 2 champions. So he's trying to unify.
Well, we got 2 things, right? We got 2 things to take in consideration. Number 1, we've got March 1st with Tank Davis, and we're going to see who he calls out supposedly at the end of the fight. That's what rumor has it, that he's going to call somebody out. Number 2, we got February 22nd with Shakur Stevenson and his performance against Floyd Schofield. That also determines potentially who Tank Davis might call out on March 1st. Either way, just like L-Dub said, I think the game plan and the play is already in, that if this doesn't work with Tank Davis, that Bob Arum is probably going to invest his energy on keeping those belts over there, investing in the idea that Keyshawn Davis is able to defend those belts and make Keyshawn Davis the star that he needs to be by going ahead and aligning him to go ahead and fight the winner of Abdullah and Moratala on that vacated or IBF interim, however it's going to end up being with once we figure out how they're going to deal with Vasily Lomachenko. That's probably going to be the fight that they're going to align him up with. Shout out to Dragon Jones for putting some color in the chat as well. Says gets ready, all top fights are now on Contenders Unifications and high ranked fighters. His time is now, man. I couldn't agree with you more, Dragonfly Jones. That's a major fact right there. No matter what happens, whether it's a fight with Tank Davis or not, Keyshawn Davis is a star in the making, and every fight counts towards that star in the making. Unification title fights is what he should be heading into, and if not, even I'm on board with you, Bevo. Why not? If you have to, go up to 140, use that WBO belt, and leverage it, and let's see you and Teofimo get at it. I know you say you're not going to give him a fight, but look, he got that WBO belt. It's a big fight. The watermelons, the bananas, everybody's accrediting it to him. Who knows? That fight might even be getting worked out when you think about that. There's supposed to be this fight in Alcatraz. I haven't heard about the fighter that Tio's supposed to fight against. I know the usual suspect is Hitchinson. You know what I'm saying? Is Hitchinson, but we haven't heard that fight was been made. So, yeah, 100%. Whatever Tio does next, leverage what he has, operate on moving off of that momentum and capitalize and making himself into a star with or without Tank. No doubt.
Hey, I think Benavidez really is gonna be like the Moses of boxing, because he's showing you ain't gotta kiss no ass and be like the guys of the old guard, the Boo Boos, the Jamals, who held their career at a standstill for Canelo.
Right.
Who waited on Canelo all day. Man, forget Tank. Act like he don't exist. Keep having your career, and before you know it, you'll make more money fighting those one guy at a time and getting that one big fight. And I just think that's the whole thing. People get too caught up because look how much time Devon's fans have wasted on Tank. You never gonna fight him.
Right.
So you wasted all that time, all that venom. We hate him. We don't love him. Blah, for nothing. So really, I think these guys got to take that Benavidez blueprint, focus on your own career, get some money, and as my old coach said it best, man, cash checks have sex, man. Forget all the other waiting on people stuff, man. Let's just go get some money, have some fun. That's what they got to do, man. Follow the Benavidez blueprint. You ain't gotta wait for Tank. You ain't gotta wait for none of them guys. Do your own career. I used to love when Dillian White would tell AJ that I got my own life, man. I got my own life.
Right.
But he a drug cheat, but I used to love when he would tell AJ, I got my own life. I ain't waiting on you. Remember how Deontay waited and waited on AJ? And then he said, let me go get Tyson Fury. Don't wait. Get somebody else. That's it.
Shout out to L Dub. Yeah, I figured that is also something that's going to happen. I'm wondering. I don't know if L Dub, if you know, maybe you might want to communicate to us and let us know. But is he going to do that unification title fight with Hitchinson for that IBF belt? And if not, if he's going to vacate it, then it's still Keyshawn Davis can still leverage that WBO title and fight the winner between Catterall and Barboza, and go collect the title up there. He can leverage himself, jump into 140-pound weight class division, get out the way of Shakur Stevenson, being that he's not going to fight him, and he could be up there at 140 pounds, unifying and fighting big fights up there. He could be fighting Rayo Venezuela or Gary Antoine Russell if he wins that fight. He can go up there and fight the winner between Alberto Puello and Sandor Martin. He can go up there and unify and try to chase down Undisputed at 140 and then ultimately be done with that division and maybe even go up to 147 at some point. The bottom line is if Tank Davis isn't trying to play, if he's trying to take his basketball and go home with it and lock down a division and not fight Keyshawn, I don't think Keyshawn should sit down there and just play around fighting a bunch of fighters defending his little WBO title or, even his unified title when he could be making big fights and becoming a star. You know what I'm saying? By unifying wherever it's available.
How do I sound now? Am I good?
Yeah, you sound good. Go ahead, brother.
Yep. All right. Yeah. So I was going to say, with all that being said, you guys already took half the things I was going to say about the good things about the fight with Keyshawn. What I want to touch on is the things that he said after, and the things that actually made me question certain things, and I hope he works on, is the fact that if you fight someone like Gervonta Davis right now, hearing him say that it was a little confusing fighting somebody that was quick and fast that caught him off guard, does he have the time to develop with a Tank Davis? Because Tank is not going to sit there and give him the same look for 4 rounds, right? Like he said, it took him 4 rounds to really kind of catch what he was doing and catch his speed and catch his awkwardness. He said he did know about the awkwardness, but he was little sleeping on the speed a little bit. So things like that make me question where he is in his development, right? We talk about other people, like Abdullah developing. That's something that he probably has to work on. And I love the fact that he listened to Terrence. I'm not saying that Bomac didn't give him great instruction, but Terrence screamed, "Get him to the body." You heard it on TV. Get him to the body. As soon as he said it, he smiled and he took the double shot to the body and knocked the wind out of him, hit him right in the sternum and knocked him out, put him down. So I like Keyshawn's chances of all these things. I think he should just be patient. If the fight comes, it comes. If not, with Gervonta or anyone other champions, it's cool. But a nice title defense would be great. You know what I mean? Just go out there and look for whatever's next, man. I like the win. Salute to the guy. Clay, I'm about to bounce back to work, but I just wanted to tap in. I'll be in the chat and BBO, and of course, you know what I mean.
Pop Shop.
You just want to make. Yeah, I know. I just want to say real quick. A Pop Shop, just keep doing your thing, man. I like when you come up here. You got some good intellect. Yeah, man. About to pop off and Ross Clark. Stop calling people bums, man. I'm just kidding. Hey,
what you call me a jigaboo?
No, who said jigaboo? What?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Damn, Bevo, that was diabolical, bro. That was so aggressive. Like, damn, bro. I would have said something. I wouldn't have let that slide.
Yeah, I don't do that, bro. I don't do.
Bro, what we
one
doing
thing
up
I don't
here,
do.
Look, you know what I mean? Calm down.
One thing I don't like doing is that internet tough man talk. I don't try to do that, man.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Hey,
I'm not that guy.
If I don't pick with you, Ray, who will, man? I got to pick
exactly.
with you.
Hey, I like it.
With you, man.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
You do your thing,
man.
bro.
All right, man. I'll catch y'all.
Talk to you soon, Ray. Hey, salute to Fight Sports Talk, man. Man, at this point, what's good with you, man? How's that weather out there in New Zealand? I know I might come out there and visit now that I know you don't got all them poisonous snakes and those over aggressive kangaroos jumping around. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on as always. And yeah, the weather's pretty good, and yeah, we're probably the safest country when it comes to those kind of things. I don't know what I can add to the panel that you guys haven't talked about already. I mean, I wasn't super impressed with either Keyshawn or Berinchyk, to be honest. I felt Berinchyk just looked. I mean, this is one where I thought Keyshawn was going to run over him because let's be honest, Berinchyk did not look good when he fought Navarrete, but I thought last minute maybe I was trying to make it more competitive than it seemed. I thought maybe he can take advantage of Keyshawn's erraticness and lack of defense, but he didn't. So in the end, I don't know if we really learned anything new about Keyshawn that we didn't know before. And therefore, it's kind of hard to see where he stacks up with the rest of the division. But the rest of the division is pretty inexperienced as well. So it's an interesting situation where, again, he took out the weakest champion, but it's like it was kind of like a contender win where we don't really know who's the best in this division.
Right. I mean, first of all, let me just shout out Warrior Class, keeping that color in the chat. Warrior just sponsoring the channel today, bro. Man, shout out to Warrior Class, man. Says, is there a storyline between David Benavidez and Bud Crawford to avenge his brother's loss to Bud, especially if Bud beats Canelo? Hell no, there ain't no story there, bro. That is just, listen, anybody who's sitting there trying to get David Benavidez to fight Terrence Crawford, you know damn well you just want to see Terrence Crawford's ass get beat. And that's the only reason why you're saying it. That ain't no damn fight. David Benavidez is way too damn big for fucking Terrence Crawford. If you're saying you want to see the fight, I know why you're saying it, period. You don't think it's going to be competitive. You're not doing it because you want to see what it looks like. You're doing it because you want to see Terrence Crawford get beat. It is what it is. Shout out to hold on. I think Blaze Pound for Pound is up here, man. What's good, family? How he got the boxing?
What's happening?
Lord have mercy.
Listen, I just got these yesterday. These is the Hayabusa T3 LX 16-ounce gloves. I know I had to give me some 16-ounce if I wanted to go in the gym and spars, but I'm in my garage right now, like Clever Lane, training to get ready. But listen, man, this is what I want to say.
Right.
Keyshawn, the businessman, handled his fucking business. Listen, man, we just seen him in Virginia, Norfolk, handle his business under the bright lights and execute properly. What I love was he got that weak ass push, and you seen it live. He was present when he got pushed, laughed it off, had to rush him just because that's protocol. If any of us got pushed, you know, if we can get to him, we're gonna try to get to him. We're gonna try to at least slap him real quick before we whoop him in his rig. You feel me? So we did that part, cooled down, got on the live, and told us, the young man told us his mentality. He said, they trying to play me out of position. They trying to get in my head. Oh, I'm not going for the first round knockout. I'm going to punish him. And then what did he do when he got into the ring? He did the last caller was like, oh, we didn't see nothing new. We seen Keyshawn under the brightest lights, MSG, first title fight, come in with full composure. Come in the first round and do what he was supposed to do, down low. And listen to his corner and play sharp. Now, he got 14 fights. I don't know what that other caller was talking about as far as his lack of defense. I ain't seen it yet because all the fights I've been seeing with Keyshawn, he's been boxing sharp. Facts. And he's been boxing high-level competition, high-ranked competition, and that's why he got his title shot. What I don't understand, now look, I'm training in here. I'm 38 years old too, so you know what I'm saying? And I did a lot of time in the pen, so I'm relatively in shape. But when you understand the type of fitness level you got to have, the mentality that you need to be of a fighter, and the work that's put in, and you get to the 135-pound division and get a title,
right, and
be in there to fight whoever's up next.
Right.
I don't understand why people minimize this shit. This is crazy. With this in this new era, we're minimizing what it takes to be a champion, and not only what it takes to be a champion, but the optics of how Keyshawn looks, how he looks in the ring, how he executes in the ring, and how he talks that shit. He's very entertaining.
Yes, sir.
These guys kill me. Now, don't get it twisted. Listen. I believe still Tank is the #1 fighter in 135. And I'm gonna be an apologist for Tank because shout out to Money Mayweather. He jump started that young boy's career and got him to the bag. So he's A-side and he's in position to fight whoever the fuck he want to fight. But what does Tank do when he fight whoever he want to fight? He takes him out. We go back to Frank Martin. Frank Martin was undefeated. Remember, Frank Martin was hyped to be the next one up. Frank Martin got under the coach of the year, and he was doing this and he was doing that. And when he fought Avizana, I think that's his name. Forgive me if I mispronounce it. But when the coach told him he was down and he dug deep in them 11
you talking about Frank and Haratunian? You talking about Haratunian?
Yeah, in Haratuna. Okay. Yeah, exactly. When he fought him, remember, he was down. and he
Right.
dug deep like a dog and got him out of there. So we're not gonna discredit Frank Martin. I look forward to Frank Martin's next fight. I believe Frank Martin's still a contender at 135 or 140, wherever he want to fight.
I'm hearing rumors it's gonna be De Los Santos at 140, but don't
there you go. There you go. Great fight. Great fight. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying, man. This is a great time for the sport, man. We're seeing great bouts right now. And I don't understand why everybody's crying and complaining who's ducking who and who's this and they should have fought this and this person's a bum. Berinchyk had that belt. You feel me? It's that simple. He was champion and he got cleaned. And he fought a good fight against Navarrete. That was a good fight. Who was a good fighter? I don't understand. It'd be like, and then all these people would say, oh, Keyshawn, he's going to get beat up by this dude. We knew he was going to handle his business. Then he handled his business. Everybody would say, oh, dude's a bum. And then they're going to say, oh, Keyshawn can't fuck with Tank or whatever. But Keyshawn is in the driver's sheet, DB3 promotions, top rank. He's going to negotiate. He got under the biggest lights and he performs. Everybody want to see his next fight, whether you like him or whether you hate him. He's in demand right now. And I really want to say, man, people need to appreciate what we just seen tonight, man. This brother's in his 14th fight. This young man just had a kid. Remember a couple years ago, this young man was banned or got suspended for smoking weed. Then you see him tell the story. Then you see
got
his
his
awareness
fight taken away from him, and now here Albright got a no contest and a suspension. And potentially lost the Pedraza fight because that was a fight he was supposed to get. Then he got blood. Yo, listen, man. The man got comeback fighter of the year. Comeback fighter of the year and not being it last year. One of the best years. When you look at his journey from the end of 2023 to being suspended for smoking weed, talking ish, and that's why you got to give props to Bomac, Terrence, Shakur, his whole team. You got to had that support. Came in, stopped Pedraza. They said, yo, he was at 140. He pulled him down to 135. It don't mean nothing. He said, I went inside the ring with Miguel Medueno, getting wrestled, fought on the inside, showed you guys he could deal with the pressure. Then they were like, oh, all right, Miguel Medueno, who is he? Then he went and said, okay, let's go ahead and beat up the guy, Gustavo Lemos, who beat up on Hitchinson. Everybody thought he beat Hitchinson. And they were like, remember, they cut the weight. You guys are draining him. Then the man came in like 10 pounds over damn weight. You know what I'm saying? Under the lights and watched him inside of 2 rounds.
What was they saying?
After packing the building.
But Clay, let's stop. Let's go with Lemos. Remember, everybody was traumatized from when Ryan went overweight and beat Haney's ass. They was all saying, "Oh, Lemos is gonna hurt him. Oh, he shouldn't take the fight. Oh, it's too much." And what did he do? This is what I don't understand. Like I said, bro, get some boxing gloves, man. Run 3 miles, man. Get a speed walk. You feel me? Get some gloves and fight your homeboy, and then appreciate when these guys get in the ring and execute at a high level that they doing right now. Yeah, shit is a travesty, bro. Yeah, please respond.
Go ahead, Fight Sport.
Please respond.
Go ahead.
All right, because I'm the one who talked about Davis's defense. You may have misheard me. I didn't talk about Davis's defense in this fight. It was fine. I talked about his previous fights. And
what fight? Name it. It wasn't Lemos.
Hold on.
It wasn't Lemos. Name the fight. Name the fighter. Because I didn't see that. I've been watching him. Where has his defense been suspect?
I didn't mention Lemos. Against Pedraza, he was able to keep his hands either too low at times or too high, where he wasn't protecting his body because he was fighting an overmatched opponent.
And he's in a plan.
I can't remember which fight it was. It might have been. Actually,
you can't remember, but you criticizing his defense. Make it make sense, man.
You know what I will.
You know what I will. Make sense.
I'll say this though. I think too many times as fans, we got to realize every fight's not going to be a big fight. Every fight can't be a big fight. Because I was talking to a good friend of mine, man. Shout out to Bernard Hackett, and he said when Andre Ward fought that Super 6, he messed up his financial career by taking all those big fights back to back to back. It don't work like that. Us as fans. Because we can consume this 24-hour media cycle boxing.
Thank you.
All it is we always want more. It feeds that hunger. It's almost like having a teratoma. You just want to feed it more and more and more. And Sugar Ray Leonard didn't fight all the tough fights. If you look at his doggone record, it's about 6 or 7. And there's some guys that he missed. So I think that's the thing I'm saying. In boxing, we got to realize that you can only take so many fights. These guys usually only fight maybe twice a year, maybe. So you really got to. You got to be honest with it. And if Keyshawn never fight Tank, I'm okay with it because I think Benny showed us, hey, to hell with Tank, to hell with Canelo. Let's have our own career, and you could become the guy. That's how
I'm just gonna say this, and I'm gonna end it, and I'm gonna go back. All I'm gonna say is this, bro. I encourage anybody who be criticizing, put some gloves on and punch your bag for 3 minutes. Just punch your bag nonstop for 3 minutes, and then criticize somebody, a professional boxer who be handling his business in the ring, like we just seen Keyshawn Davis. And you tell me the fighter that his defense was suspect with. Tell me that fight, please.
If you listen, I can tell you. The fight against Pedraza, again, he got away with it because Pedraza was overmatched. But there were times where his body was very open, and he would either drop his hands up close because, again, he could get away with it, and because he was so much faster than Pedraza. And I was just saying, because he was stepping up to a world level opponent, albeit being a champion who was overmatched, I was thinking, maybe he could get picked apart by somebody like a Shakur Stevenson, whose entire game is revolved around defense, or Andy Cruz, who, again, I didn't think Andy Cruz should be rushing into a title fight, but given that Keyshawn was kind of rushed into a title fight, maybe that would work. So I wasn't criticizing Keyshawn Davis. I see you shaking your head, but hear me out. This is just me analyzing a fighter who is stepping up very quickly to world level, and there are some really good fighters in this division. So it wasn't criticism. It was just me observing a guy who was taking a big step up. That's all.
Okay. So I would ask you, when he fought Pedraza, was he ever in trouble? Because I would say there's been a lot of fighters who get loose, who lower their defense. Boots do it all the time when he's been fighting these cans. He didn't do that against this fight. He didn't do that against Lemos. So for you to say, oh, his defense was suspect against Pedraza, he obviously seen something there, and it didn't get him in trouble.
Right.
And he makes the adjustment in every fight. So that don't make sense when you're analyzing one fight and you're saying the suspect is weak, but he done had 3 fights after that where he was sharp. Make it make sense.
Well,
you're looking for something that's not there. You're looking for something that's not. Because look, you're talking about the Pedraza fight, right?
No,
but did he get hurt in the Pedraza fight? I will respect it if you say his defense was down and Pedraza took advantage of it and he had to make adjustment. You didn't say that. You said, oh, he had openings in his defense, but didn't get taken advantage of.
You are overanalyzing what I said. I said his defense looked shaky to where he could get picked apart by somebody who had the skills and ability to implement that. Now, he got away with it.
I just tell you, he got 3 more fights after that, and this so-called suspect defense did not get taken advantage of. Why? Because he was sharp in those fights. I'm just saying, man, people be looking for anything. That's not there, bro. His holes in Keyshawn's defense is not there.
All right. I think you need to relax, because I'm not saying Keyshawn Davis can't cut it at the top level. There was actually a video on my channel a few months ago saying I wouldn't feel so comfortable with Lomachenko fighting him right now, simply because of the age difference, even though Keyshawn Davis, again, I know
that says a lot because Loma just beat the shit out of Kambosos and looked sharp. That you're saying that. And real quick, my energy ain't towards you. I've been turned up, man. I'm in the gym right now, so my heart rate's up already. So don't you?
I'm about to say, but Blaze is gonna go like that. It's gonna go like that.
I'm always on fire. Let him know.
He gonna smile at you right at the end of it, but during the process, it's gonna be a rough ride.
Yeah.
Listen,
one more comment, if I could, Clay. You're probably going to see me. You're going to see me on Clay's channel in the future. So this is just me asking questions. Okay, nothing.
Same thing. Anybody who's up on this platform has been here before, and I know everybody got respect. I just know how everybody is. You saw how I got rid of the other dude who was talking crazy earlier. I got rid of him. I don't have nobody up here. There's nothing but adults. Most people who's up on here, you're gonna see gray in their beard. And you're going to see they grown, they ain't got time for the games. But it will get passionate from time to time. Don't take it personally.
I hear you.
I want to...
all respect, brother.
I want to move the needle a little bit in the direction of, all right, so look, Keyshawn, in my opinion, Keyshawn had a great night against Dennis Berinchyk. He was cerebral. He had the poise. He was patient. That's what I wanted to see. I know how he looked in front of these other fighters that he fought that stepped to him, but I wanted to see how he was going to deal with a Eastern European irky jerky moving around all crazy kind of fighter, and see if he was going to chase him around the ring, or could he be patient and and wait for his opportunities, attack the body, take away what he brought to the table, and ultimately stop him. And I think he did it. I had the fight going to the 7th round. I thought that's when Keyshawn was going to stop it. So the mere fact that it happened in the 4th round, even better. I'm like, man, this kid shows that even with all the lights, even with all the distractions, even with the anger and being insulted with the watermelons and the bananas, whether it came from Dennis, whether it came from T.O., whether it came from Keyshawn his damn self, he didn't allow none of that stuff to get in his way. Another big show, and a WBO champion now in Keyshawn Davis. Now what? What's the next chapter for Keyshawn? Let's be practical and reasonable about this. And I think we talked about it a little bit. I think some people talked about him going to 140 and things of that nature. But I would like to get a consensus. Where does he go now? Is it Tank? Is it Tank or bust or what?
It's in-house, Clay. It's they gotta try to negotiate the Loma fight. It makes no sense. It's in-house for Bob, all of them.
Right. What does everybody else think?
I would say, unfortunately, that's probably the route, because one thing I will say, and people got to be honest, people kind of have patterns. Tank is 30 years old. He's never unified. He's not going to unify now. So there's no use even bringing up that fight. Hopefully, we'll see him get the winner of that Maritala fight. But I'll just say this. I just want to see him go to 40, because that's wide open. Hitches, he could probably make that fight next. Fight Hitches, become a 2-division champion, and go do your thing, because he looks his frame looks a little bit too big for 35. That's just me. So I don't think there's no use in risking it, killing yourself. You got the title, now go ahead and leave and go do something at 40, because 35 is really just top heavy as hell. That's it. It's 2 or 3 guys. That's it. And you're not going to fight Keyshawn. You guys are friends and lovers. You're not going to fight. So go to 40, man, see what's up. That's what I want to see him do. That's just me, though.
I could rock with it. I could definitely rock with it, man. I mean, look, man, I wanna go into some other topics, but listen, bro, it is 2:22 in the morning over here. I need to get these contacts out of my head and put them away. I should have my glasses on. I had these contacts in my eyes since 5 o'clock this morning, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's diabolical. I'm gonna let everybody get an opportunity to do a little closeout. Let me know what you think. I think I'm going up live later today, I guess. You know what I mean? Being that it's the next day, I'm gonna be home, going up live later today for some other conversations, because we got Miguel Madueno. I'm looking forward to this Miguel Madueno and Oscar Duarte fight tomorrow. I'm looking forward to this Jack Catterall and Arnold Barbosa fight tomorrow. So I got those fights that I want to kind of talk about going into that as well. But that being said, though, let's do our closeouts, man, and let's go ahead and let me take it down, man. Get these contacts out of my eyes, man. It's about that time. I'll take them out right now on this damn monitor if I have my little holder here that I can put them in. So who want to go first?
I'll go first, man. Salute to my man Clay, the old man, letting me come through, man. It's your boy BVO Boxing, man. Like to talk boxing. Pull up. Appreciate you, man. See you next time. Peace.
No doubt. Salute to you. What's good?
Hey, I echo that sentiment, man. Like I said, after these fights, man, I'd be hyped. It's like, where you gonna put this energy? Bam! Here you come up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I appreciate the opportunity for you to open up the live and let us come in and express ourselves. I know you said you weren't gonna be on long, but everybody love this boxing thing, so time got passed. But hey, looking forward to being on with you again tomorrow, my brother, or later on today.
Yeah, later on today, exactly. No doubt, man, for sure, man. Talk to you soon, brother. Thank you for showing up to the channel too as well. Man, what's good with you, man? Long time no hear, by the way. It was good to see you, man. See you in good health, man. You in the gym or you in the garage working out this time of night, man. It's a good look, man. How you feeling? Say something nice.
Okay, real quick, and I cut off before I left. I think Keyshawn and Loma should be setting up that deal, top rank, and I think Loma probably want to fight him more than you want to fight Tank at 135. But I want to say, man, yeah, shout out Clay, shout out to bringing the platform. I seen post fight. I was looking for it live. I knew I could get on and hop on and pop it with you, so I appreciate it. Very exciting night. It was good to see Keyshawn, good to see the other boxers. It's good to see Abdullah Mason having this business as well. And it's Blaze P for P. I got my own channel. I've been putting undisputed content on there. I've been playing that game with the youngins, some of the best in the world. Been dropping
what you play on like PS or on the computer?
On PS5. On PS5. So yeah,
man, I'm gonna have to get up there with you.
Top 20 in the world, bro. They down there in the fight. Fight Club. We got a Fight Club, Baby King Promotions.
You're top
Prize Fighter,
20 in
all
the
those
world?
guys. No. I'm not. My
Oh,
guys, my young
okay.
partners. I don't got enough time to play, and I only be playing with
Me
Bud
too.
at Southpaw. You feel me? So
Me too,
yeah,
man. I don't know. I play with Bud
but
but I ain't got the time either. But I got the
I ain't got the
game, though,
time.
bro.
Yeah, I got
For
the
me.
game. Exactly. And I just want to say, man, I appreciate the debate. Appreciate, just boxing, man. And in 2025, man, we starting on live. We got this fight. We getting to see Shakur next week. We getting to see that Bivol Bitter Viaz rematch. Ooh, which was my favorite fight last
Virgil
year. Quick chess
Madrimov.
match. Yeah, come
Got
on, Madrimov. Yep, I've been
Joseph
waiting for him.
Parker, Daniel Dubois.
Come on. Talk
Listen,
to me.
we're
Talk to
gonna
me.
talk about that. We're gonna do a whole show about that because it's gonna
Ooh,
be
We got
that's
like
gonna be
we got like 5 main events in one night on that.
Jesus,
night.
man.
nasty work.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
bro. And by the way, Jared Anderson, done? Bust? Are we done? Is Jared done?
I
we
think
done
so.
with Jared?
I didn't see
I
it
think
today.
so.
Did he lose?
No, he won. I guess,
But it was nasty. It was
horrible.
ugly, huh? It was
Oh,
ugly.
bro,
Yeah, I
he
see
don't
it.
want to fight
One
no
thing
more.
I would just say with Jared, man, you could see he was disinterested. He had those problems outside the ring already, and it'd be a shame because he's got a good team around him. But when you be labeled, remember he was labeled the next one up, the next American heavyweight, and he let it go to his head before he even got there. So that's just my thing, man. I don't give up on nobody, because
Right.
we see the raw skills that he do got. We just hope that he can get his mind right, and really, really lock in and use his talents. But the way he looks now, yeah, he's not looking like he's going to be able to deal with the top dogs at the heavyweight division.
No
Yeah.
doubt, man. Salute to you,
Yeah, I
man.
agree.
I appreciate
thank
you,
you.
Blaze.
Peace.
Thank you, bro. Fight
Yes, sir.
Sports. Talk to me. Say something nice.
Yeah, thanks for having me on as always, man. I'll maybe jump on in the morning and later on when you have the show. And yeah, it's always great to be on. And my final thoughts on where Keyshawn goes. I don't know. It's funny because I think the fight that makes the most sense is Shakur Stevenson. But if he was still with Top Rank, that would be a no-brainer. But he's not. And yeah, I don't know about Lomachenko. I think Lomachenko should just retire personally. But because he could very well beat Keyshawn, but he's not becoming undisputed. And I say that as a tremendous fan. But we'll wait and see. As far as him moving to 140, I never want to rush fighters to do it. But if he's dead at the weight, or shouldn't say dead, have a hard time making the weight like Teo and Haney did, then definitely, and Garcia, definitely move up. So yeah, wait and see what happens. But thanks for having me on as always. Catch you later. And yeah, always a pleasure, man. Catch you.
Definitely, man. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Man, what a night, man. We made it happen again. I did a pop-up, man. I appreciate all the support, honestly, that comes through and supports when I do this. It's just unorthodox. I don't put out the thumbnail the right way and like promote it for days or even 24 hours, and everybody always shows up whenever the notification goes off. So I appreciate the support, man. Thank you for everybody that showed love tonight in the super chat, man. Warrior Class really sponsored the whole damn show. Dragonfly Jones showed some love as well, and Conquest put some money in there as well. Pop Shop Talk showed some love. I appreciate all you guys. I always tell you guys, please hit the like button before you guys leave out of here. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, take an opportunity to go ahead and do that. I appreciate all you guys again. And on that note, and at this point, you know how we carry it. We're out.
They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. They hate when you elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way too fly. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation, now I got rollies all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Squatting all bad like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with. Oh. I ain't make it this far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else, I had to set them straight, yeah. I had to ball, so I had to renovate. I know they hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah. I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you